Welcome to NFL Chaos with Jeremy. I am Jeremy, and I bring the chaos. And today we're going to have a duel draft with Dom C. right after this. I like Hutchinson the best, and I don't think Linderbaum is worth a top 10 pick. Thibodeau slipped, and I am going to grab Thibodeau. The Giants took Khalil Elam. Good for them. Kenyon Green is a guarantee in my mind. He would be such a dream pick right here. Evan Neal is still on the board. I'm not going to pick this now. That 44 pick could be tight end. That 44 pick could be a good linebacker, a good safety. We could drop back one pick and pick up a second rounder for New Orleans. We got options here. I love that. If we only had those options right now. Well, you never know. We might. We'll find out. We'll see. Draft just around the corner, Daniel-san. Anyway, let me introduce my co-host. Give us some cool music. And now, my opponent this evening, ready to battle it out with me on our fourth episode of Dueling Draft. Dom C.
Jeremy, I'm telling you, the music gets better and better every week, dude. I love it. I love it.
What's up, my brother?
What's up, Jeremy? What's up, fam? How are you guys today? I'm pretty stoked to be here, and I'm looking forward to this little competition we're gonna have today. I'm not gonna lie.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. Let me say hello to some people. I said hecko because I was trying to do it without my glasses, and it's been confirmed. Contact lenses don't work. No glasses work. Don't work. Basically, it's gonna be this is what you get. I have to keep the glasses on. I don't know if there's a way to break the reflection or what I'm gonna do, but this is life for right now. J. Cole's in the house. What's up? Dark Soldiers here. Yo. Hello, snacks. Hello, mess. Those two go together so well because when you snack, you make a mess. Nick is in the house. What's up, Nick? Nick Rousseau. We got our second Nick in the house. And we got my friend Harry W., who I'm going to get to see hopefully this summer.
Harry.
He comes to Sacramento. Anthony G in the house. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. Let the people flow in. We don't want anybody to miss anyone because then we have to do that whole thing where we catch everybody up, and all that jazz. So let me explain what the pattern for this draft will be so everybody knows what we're doing. This is how we're going to do it. We're going to go through the draft, and in each pick, Dom C and I are both going to say what we want to do. I'm going to say this was the move I want to make, and Dom C is going to say this is the move that he wants to make. If we agree, we're going to make the pick. If we disagree, you guys in the chat are going to vote D for Dom, J for Jeremy, and you're going to decide who wins and gets to use their strategy or deploy their pick. So, some ground rules, especially for one person out there specifically. Don't vote for me just because I'm your dad or anything like that. Don't do that. Vote for the move you like better. Okay? Vote for the move you like better. So what's up, Y2K? Good to see you. Yeah, it's going to be fun, man. Now, I don't know if we're going to agree on a lot, Dom. I have no idea. A lot of my thinking, some of my training came from you. So, You know what I mean? So I don't know how it's going to work. But the chat will get to vote for either of our strategies. The one thing I'm asking you guys to do is do not vote for your own. Like, in other words, it's going to be the vote's going to be J or D. That's all we're counting. He literally said, okay, so they're going to already argue. Remember, guys, if you don't get along with someone in the chat, if you hit the three little dots when you put your cursor on their name, you can block them so you never see them. So if people don't get along, you can never have to see each other. Okay, so that's just a little tip. It works very well for a lot of people. There are some people I have blocked. It helps protect you if there's someone that you don't like to read their chats. So you just block them. Okay.
Hey, Jeremy, before we get into this and we're
Yeah.
talking about ground rules, how
Yeah.
are we going to handle trades? Is it something that we both have to agree on?
No, I think that we're gonna say, like, I want to do this trade, and this is
Okay.
what I would do in this moment. And you'll say, no, I want to pick this guy, and then the chat decides who they go with.
Okay, that's fine. Like I said, I just want to make sure I'm up to snuff on exactly what's going on. And to the chat, I want to apologize in advance because I got to hold my mic because my other one crapped out, and this is what I'm dealing with today. So as long as you can hear me, that's all that matters. We're ready to have some fun. Who's ready for the draft? I mean, we're almost in April here. It's right around the corner. Free agencies, it's been fun. To some, maybe it's been disappointing. Jets Twitter has been blowing up about Robert Woods and Amari Cooper and all this. And, I'm ready to move past that and kind of get into this next stage of 2022.
Yeah, I agree. I'm trying to burn out all that noise. You know what I mean? I love this offseason so far. I'm trying to burn out all the complaining about this player and that player. I've learned a long time ago we're not going to get every player we want, and free agency is not even over yet. So we're gonna see. We're gonna know. We'll see who our starting team is and who's on our 53. It's going to be until June until we know that, right? Or
Correct.
somewhere into July. So I'm not worried about it now.
Yeah, the whole Robert Woods thing has just been very, very interesting to me.
Yeah.
I know the name Robert Woods. I know the player Robert Woods, but I philosophically I just never saw a fit with Robert Woods and this Jets team where we are now and where we want to go. I mean, he's on the wrong side. He's on the wrong side of 30, making a ton of money. Coming off an injury. Yes, the injury. Some might say, an ACL is kind of like a sprained ankle used to be 10 years ago. But nonetheless, he just doesn't fit. I don't think outside of the fact that he's a solid veteran presence wide receiver who's good. I'm not denying that, but he just doesn't fit with the team that Joe Douglas has been building. I mean, what do you think about that, Jeremy?
Well, I think if you fast forward 2 years from now and you have a Robert Woods, an exact situation like that just happened, he might be the right guy in 2 years from now or 3 years from now, right at that spot where we just the year before we're in the playoffs. Maybe we lost in the divisional rounds and we're ready to take, and we need that final piece of the puzzle, right? We want to add a couple of pieces. At that point, you can add a 29, 30-year-old, right? To give you that veteran, that extra little oomph to get over to where you need to be to win. We're not at that stage. That's why
Correct.
You see these guys. Where did you see Robinson go? Right? He went to the Rams, who just won a Super Bowl. Where did you see Amari Cooper go? He went to Cleveland, who just got Deshaun Watson now, right? So you got teams that are trying to win this year as far as Super Bowl and have legitimate arguments of why they could be a Super Bowl contender. We would need a miracle. We'd have to be an anomaly. Right now, that's not, we would love to do it. We'd love to be all of a sudden be a contender. But right now, the reality is we're a team in a rebuild.
You mean you're not gonna predict 4,500 yards and 30 TDs for Zach again?
No, I'm laying off the whiskey. I do want to say I was trying to build a brand back there. It's like, chaos, hot takes. I was on, Frankie's show, and I was trying to be the wild one. And so I'm not doing that no more because I don't want I don't want my name associated with ridiculous predictions anymore, even if it's for fun. Because it's a lot of people don't know the difference too. So, and then we joke about it long enough and people forget that when I was doing it, it was a joke.
Yeah.
So, David Gerard just got the shirt. That's great. And thank you for posting that. I want people to know that my giveaways are legitimate, that I'm the real deal. And Gitmo Bob is saying his daughter's stoked that she got her shirt. I'm glad that we're all arriving and everybody's getting them. So that's good stuff. I think we need two edges. Any interest in Clowney? Well, Clowney is that situation again. I don't know, man. It depends on what his price is, I guess, right? So,
yeah, Clowney's an interesting one. I mean, there's probably, not many out there right now who play the run as well as Clowney, so if that's what you're looking for, that's cool. But he's definitely, he's not going to get anything more than a 1-year deal. And again, I don't know if he fits in with what they're trying to build right now, especially, they just spent some money on Martin, who's completely the complete opposite of Clowney, very twitchy, very, very fast, pass rush oriented. You bring Clowney in. Sure, I'd love to have a player like Jadeveon Clowney, but the juice got to be worth the squeeze. Is the price right? Is the situation right? Are we dealing with a full, defensive line, with no injuries? Because then where's the true fit? I don't know.
Yeah. And this is a good point by Anthony. We don't know that Woods wanted to come to us. The Rams may have literally said, "Where do you want to go?"
And from what I read, that's pretty. At least that's in the ballpark.
Yeah.
That they said that they were going to work with him to put him in a place where he wanted to be.
Yep.
Even if it meant taking less.
And again, we're gonna see what happens. There's a lot of free agents left. Everybody thinks that free agency is over. Like it's this thing where if you don't, it's like 3 days. That's who you get. It's like, no, we still have like 29 million in cap, and free agency is far from over. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens. More guys are going to get cut. I keep telling people that there's more cuts coming. There's going to be veteran players released. I don't know if maybe we're going to go high on the draft on wide receiver. I don't know what we're going to do yet, but it will unfold. Everything will happen and fall into place.
Yeah. Dark Soldier, I agree with that. I don't know about the comment that Jets fans are the worst, but they're definitely the most dramatic. Somebody posted, maybe DJ tweeted not too long ago. It's like, just because a guy is released or it's because of free agent doesn't mean that the Jets have to be on them. And that's exactly the sentiment that I hold. We're not going to go get everyone. We're not going to sign every player that gets cut loose or is available.
Wait a second. What's AC saying? Just be Jeremy. Don't need Stephen A. Did I do anything Stephen A. like? I don't think I did. Doesn't Steve A. put down people and stuff and yell and all that kind of stuff? I don't know what he's talking about. He's probably just joking. I always misinterpret AC's messages anyway. Traequan Smith or Demarcus Robinson still available? Okay. There's a lot of guys available, and there's a lot more guys that will be available. So
correct.
I mean, the real thing is that we just don't know. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes, so everything is speculation, right? So
everything leading up to this draft, there's, if there's nothing more that can be said, we all have to stay confident that there is a plan in place. There's a short-term plan for what's going to happen before April 24th or whenever the draft is. I'm sure there's a plan for the 7 rounds of the draft, and there's a plan for the future, and I'm willing to hitch my carriage on to JD's plan because so far so good.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I tend to be more of an optimist in regards to my fandom, my Jets fandom. I always want to see the silver lining, and the cup is always half full. And I, can admit my mistakes because I was the biggest Adam Gase supporter there was when he got hired. But this seems different. I've never really kind of felt this comfortable with the construction of the team,
Yeah.
Because we're used to those Band-Aids on the bullet holes.
Yeah. I know it's funny because I feel the same way. This is the best I felt about a rebuild, and what we're putting together. I haven't felt this way in a long time. and I'm just going to chill out, man. I'm just chilling and enjoying it. I'm enjoying the fact that we have so many picks. I'm enjoying the fact that we've added some quality players, and I'm excited to see who we're going to draft.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so this should be a time where people are. If you can't enjoy this time as a Jets fan, that's a problem, because, like, when are you content?
Yeah.
Like, and I understand we're not winning games yet, but I just want to enjoy the whole process. When we eventually win, I want to look back and say I enjoyed the whole thing. Not I was skeptical and a sourpuss until the day we won the Super Bowl. Jake asked me freaking out over saying we should have gotten Cooper. He disappears. He's making up so much. Can we give up resources? No, thank you. Yeah, well, people overreact to things, so I'm happy too. Well, Jake flipped out this morning. He blocked like 10 people. It was hysterical. Yeah, so one of the things you have to be able to be okay with is having people disagree with you and having different views than you. So now I don't know why he blocked those 10 people. Maybe he thought they were being disrespectful, but if they were simply just disagreeing with him, eventually that'll catch up to him, right? Because nobody wants to be I don't think anybody wants to be in a room where you're not allowed to speak your mind in the chat and then get blocked for just your opinions.
Yeah.
But the question is, were people disrespecting him? Because he might have enough followers and enough viewers that he just doesn't need to tolerate people who disrespect them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know him personally, but I follow and I'm cued in whenever Jake goes on, and he doesn't strike me as, the kind of guy or the kind of creator that's going to get offended if you don't agree with what he thinks, you know what I mean?
Right.
So,
and then you have Dark Soldier say they were trolling him.
Well, that's a whole different animal.
Yep. It's I don't understand why people do that. That's like I like the way Green Bean expresses it. It's like just people who troll. It's like the question is, would you call your parents and say, you know what I did today? I went online and I trolled somebody, and harassed them. That's not what we, if you have kids, do you raise your kids? Is that your hopes and dreams for them, that they grow up and go online and troll people? It's like, when you think of it from that perspective, it's so ridiculous and so silly,
Yeah, listen, when Gase came in, I hung my hat on, hey, this was Peyton's offensive coordinator in the Denver years when he was awesome.
Yeah.
I blocked out, subconsciously, I think I blocked out the 2 years of disarray in Miami when he came up here.
Yeah.
So, and again, I think that's my fault. I tend to be the optimist, and I want to believe until I'm just, kind of set myself up to crash down, But that's inbred in me as a Jets fan, as a Mets fan, as a Knicks fan. That's all I know.
Yeah. Hey, we're gonna start the draft now. So let me share screen. Let me know that you can see it. Yeah, it looks like you can.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Here we go.
So I'll do lots of zooming in. I have it set for Jets right now, 7 rounds fast. Now, remember, everybody, if you weren't here, how we're going to do this. We are going to, me and Dom are going to say what we want to do. And if we disagree, then you guys break the tie. Okay, so is my mic muted? No.
Hello.
Can you hear me? I can hear you.
I can hear you as well.
Okay, so let's draft. Okay, so the first thing that happens is I want to say that, let me zoom in and show you before we even look at the trade who's on the board and who went. You can see right up top who's still here. Kayvon Thibodeau, Kyle Hamilton, Ekwonu, Garrett Wilson. And then to look at the guys who got picked, Sauce Gardner, Aiden Hutchinson, and Evan Neal.
Okay.
Okay, so I guess for this one, I'll go first with mine, what I would do.
Sure.
And then you go with yours. There is a trade offer. Dallas wants to give us 24, 56, and 88 for second and third, and a second and third for next year. I think that's bullshit. I think you have to give to go from 24 to 4, you'd have to give your first round pick and 2 more first round picks.
Yeah, I mean, if there's not one first round pick in there, you don't even entertain it. You know, three might be a little crazy, but yeah, this is not one I'm entertaining.
Right. So we're rejecting that trade, especially with who's left on the board. So if I was in charge of this, my move here would be to take Kevon Thibodeau.
Okay. You want to back that up?
I'm going to back that up by saying we've been, I don't care about what happened at the combine, this or that. We've been talking ourselves out of a premier edge forever. And this is the guy that has the best opportunity, aside from Hutchinson, to be a premier edge. And we need finally, as an organization, to have a premier edge. So I am not going to talk or let the combines or any interview this guy did talk me out of taking a superstar.
Okay. Are we ready to have some fun, chat? Well, not this pick, because I also will take Kayvon Thibodeau. Okay. The ceiling is too high. Put all that other stuff to bed. I think at this point you got to take the best athlete. And I don't know, all these mocks and all these whispers that you hear that he's falling down, that he's drafting, that he doesn't really like football, this and that. I think you put that all aside for the sky-high ceiling that he's got. He's arguably the best player in this draft. And I would be elated to hand in a card that said Kayvon Thibodeau, Edge, University of Oregon.
Let's see if I can get some more light in here. Okay. Let's see what about this one. Okay, there we go. There we go. Now you can see my big bald head. So I'm going to take Kevon Thibodeau. He is a Jet. Yay, congratulations. Okay, so we have 2 trade offers, but let's see who's on the board. Let's see who's taken. I'll show you who was taken first. After we took Thibodeau, Ikem Ekwonu was taken by the Giants. Charles Cross went to Carolina. Tyler Linderbaum went to the Giants. Wow, they went heavy on offensive line. Atlanta went Kyle Hamilton. And the Seahawks take a quarterback, Malik Willis. And that leaves someone very interesting on the board. And there's a couple of interesting guys on the board. But I'm not going to lie to you. Right now, we're in position for my dream scenario. Okay, my ultimate dream scenario is in play right now. We have an opportunity to live the dream, at least my dream. But there are some trade offers we should talk about. I'm going to zoom in on them. First is from Kansas City. They want to give us their 30, 62, and 103, and their second next year for the 10. Again, I can't see how you make this trade. It's not a value trade here. It's like they want to go up 20 spots in the first round. There has to be a first round pick in play.
I agree. I'm going to pass on that, Jeremy.
Okay. The next one, the Chargers, more reasonable, only want to go up 7 spots, offering us their 79, their third round, and next year's second round. So in value, that's 2 third-rounders to move up 7 spots in the first round. And this is something I would consider if my guys were off the board, but there's somebody on the board that I cannot pass up. So my vote is for no on this trade.
I'm thinking about this trade, and here's my thoughts. If we stayed at 10, there's guys that I like, but the idea of adding that 79 pick while only dropping back not too far, where I think we're still going to get into the meat and potatoes of this draft, and players that I like. For me, it's interesting. I'm trying to real quick just get a cost here on value for these picks. Give me 1 second. Pull up my value chart, handy dandy drafttech.com. If you guys don't use it, it's a wonderful, wonderful site. It really helps you, figure out stuff like this or see if it makes sense. And of course, it's not loaded. And no, I'm not sponsored by Draft Tech, so that's a free shameless plug for them. So we have the 10 pick is worth $1,300. The 17 pick is worth $950. So that's what, a difference of $450. 79 is worth another $195. So it's just say you double that $195 with the next year's second round pick. So it's not enough value. So my vote would be to either counter and see if we can obtain. Do they own a second rounder? San Diego does not own a second rounder. I think they traded it for.
Right, they don't. They were offering us their next best pick. Let me show you. But we can still counter. There's still countering that could be done.
I'm going to, if it was a second round, I would counter back at 2 seconds and 17. But I'm going to say no. Who did they trade the second round pick? They traded to the Bears, didn't they?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, they had to have traded when they.
That's how they got to get Mac.
That's how they got Mac, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I guess I'm first then. Since you went first last time, right? We've decided to keep the pick.
So you're going to say what you would do here.
Okay. There's 3 guys, really 4 guys on the board here. Then now that I'm thinking about it, I'm going to go from on how I would do it from 4th to 1st. Like it or not, and this might get like a rile up the chat really hard. But I think we have to think long and hard about Jordan Davis here. The defensive line and filling that middle, that run stuffer, is a definite void. I know that we're all scarred. I know for the past umpteen years we've taken defensive linemen who have come and gone, but we would be silly to say that it's not a need. Now, that being said, I don't know if Jordan Davis is the 10th best player in this draft, and I don't think that he's going to be that high on the board of the scouts and JD. So I'm going to pass on Jordan Davis. He was in consideration because I think that's a need. I also think Nakobi Dean could be a need, could be a fit here. He is a linebacker in the mold of what fits wonderfully in our scheme. He's fast. He's a big downhill hitter. He understands zone defenses. I mean, he understands zone defense. He can man up. He's fast enough to man up on the guys on tight ends and the slots, the bigger slots. I think he could be a perfect complement right now to Mosley and possibly step in for Mosley once or if we decide to move on from Mosley next year. So he's in consideration. And I think Drake London and Garrett Wilson both have to be in consideration here. That being said, I'm going to say that I'm comfortable with passing on wide receiver here at 10 and selecting the linebacker Nakobi Dean out of Georgia. He's young. Like I said, fast, sideline to sideline, comes down, great tackler, comfortable. It gets his necessary depth in his drops. He's comfortable in man. He can get after the quarterback on the stunts and the blitzes inside if he needed him to. And like I said, I think he would complement Mosley perfectly this year, and then have the chance to really step into his role as the alpha linebacker on our team next year. So my selection is going to go to Nakobi Dean. I'm comfortable with the guys, the receivers in that 20 to 40 to 50 range, comfortable enough to pass on these guys. That on top with the fact, tied in with the fact that I'm a fan of Elijah Moore. I'm a fan of Corey Davis. I'm a fan of the 2 tight ends that we brought in, and I think LaFleur is going to start trying to get back to his roots, or what he tried to start to do last year, with a lot more 2 tight end personnel and build off the running game. So, I love the talent. I love the talent of Garrett Wilson. He's my wide receiver 1. But I'm going to pass on him for the likes of Nakobi Dean, because I think there's a precipitous drop off once you get past linebacker 1 and linebacker 2, comparatively to the drop if you passed on wide receiver here and took wide receiver in the second round.
Okay, so I have no issue with Nakobi Dean. To me, he's more of a, if he was there at 35 kind of guy, by some luck. But I don't know if I could take him this high. I would take the trade if I was going to take him.
Yeah. Well, and that's that's why I really wanted that. Like, I think that's, if I was truly predictive, I think the Jets are going to trade down from here.
Right. I think here's the reason I say Garrett Wilson.
Okay.
Because I like a lot of other wide receivers, but they all have things that scare me.
Okay.
I love Christian Watson, but
sure.
I haven't seen him against elite competition. I have watched him in full games. There's times he looks amazing, and there's times he's disappeared. I've watched, I really like Jameson Williams. I just wouldn't take him this high right off the injury, especially when there's a guy like Garrett Wilson there. So there's with Jameson Williams, though, I really do like him, and I think he's going to be fine long term. Drake London, coming off the ankle surgery, scares me a little bit. I have some concerns there just about his get off the line of scrimmage. That came from you, and that concerns me. I like them all in a sense that I think any one of those guys can end up being great. But there's nothing negative for me with Garrett Wilson. To me, we need a WR1, and to me, I don't have any negatives on him. Garrett Wilson, to me, is just all good.
So here's what I'm going to say to that, just to counterpoint you. And like I said, guys, I mean this wholeheartedly. If any of those names that we picked were the selection here for the Jets in real life, I'd be so stoked. If somebody said Garrett Wilson's pick at 10, I'm all for it. I truly believe that, like I said, I think that you're going to see this year's offense really, really, I don't want to say dummied down, but working as LaFleur really wanted to work. And I think I think they're going to do everything they can to put Zach in the best position to make plays and win. Even if those plays aren't the 20-yard digs down the field and those timing, those long, intermediate to long, timing routes and stuff like that. That's where Garrett Wilson excels. I believe that I think right now, as constituted, London might be a better fit for the Jets. His skill set is something that we don't have. You know what I mean? And to your point where you said we need WR1, I think we have one. I really think Elijah Moore he's wide receiver 1 in the making. I think he's that good. And again, this is not trying to say I don't like Wilson, and I do. I just think that the drop off, like I said, from the top tier linebackers to the next tier is a lot bigger than the drop off from this tier of wide receivers to the next tier. And the chat's talking about, you can't take linebacker here, you got to trade back. Well, on the simulators, absolutely. But in reality, if you got your guy, you go get him, right? We're not picking, hypothetically, again until 35. And if Nakobi Dean's your guy, or if Garrett Wilson's your guy, and you go and get them. You don't, hope and pray that that they're going to fall into your lap at 35. If they do, or if they did, that's wonderful. And again, that's just my thoughts.
Yep. And no, it's all good. I mean, and I'm like, again, I'm with you. I'm thrilled no matter what they do in this situation. We get better as a team. Nick Nessie started the voting. Okay, so it's D or J. Put your vote in. That's just the way we're doing it tonight, guys. Tonight, your power is to pick one of those two, even if you like a different option. But we change the format every week. There are weeks where you guys will 100% be in charge. There's weeks where you don't. This you just get to vote. So it's J or D. We got 2 J's. 10 is too early for a wide receiver. Trade down if that's what you want. Okay, but we're not doing that. Remember, we're just voting on it's Nakobi Dean or it's Garrett Wilson. That's our situation right now.
Yeah,
Nakobi Dean. So
to-
if you want Nakobi Dean, you vote D. If you want Garrett Wilson, you vote J. I guess if it's very upsetting to you and you just can't get yourself to vote for one of us because you're so against it, then don't vote. So,
I'm counting 3 J's, 1 D so far.
I got 3 J's, 1 D. Snacks is a vote for me, so that's 4 J's and 1 D. Watsuke, did you vote twice? No, he didn't. Okay, so he's voting J. That's 5. Harry is another D, so that's 5-2.
John
right?
Silva voted Dean. That's 5-3. Owen Barry. Oh, look at the D's coming back.
Wow.
And guys, I want to reemphasize a point that I made. Like I said, I get what you're saying. Like we could, ideally, or it might be better to, like we know that in these simulators you could trade back. We know exactly kind of sort of where these guys are going to go. But I think in reality, like if the guy's highest on your board, you go get him,
Yep.
So yes, you could. Nakobi Dean might fall into the 20s. He might. I'm not denying that whatsoever. But I deduced it. Like I said, I gave you the 4 guys that I thought made sense. And I really think, again, if we're taking this to another level, if you're gun to my head, if I got to choose which receiver I think will be, if I'm choosing between Garrett Wilson and Drake London, which one we're going to end up with, my money would right now be on Drake London. I'm not saying he's better than Garrett Wilson. I just think that what he provides and what his skill set is, and his his contested catchability, the big body, true X, stuff on the short. Short.
Owen's cheating. He went back in his CJ Uzama and voted again.
So I think what London can bring on the short and flat routes, those quick, this quick slant, the stuff again that could be positive for Zach. Don't think too much, real quick. You know where you're going. Get the ball out of your hands. I think he offers a lot more than Garrett Wilson. Not saying he's a better wide receiver than Garrett Wilson, but I think his fit might be better for the Jets.
Okay, so the vote is in. It's 8. Admit it really close, but it was 8. I got 8-7 for me.
Okay, I lost count, so I'm gonna go with what you said.
It was really close, but I got 8-7.
Okay.
So and hopefully and Jets mess don't say snacks because you're confusing people. And Owen, nice try. We see the O in your icon. We're experts at picking that stuff out. So we're going to take Garrett Wilson here. I think it was super close. I think it's 50-50. I love Nakobi Dean, so I have no, I would have been happy either way. Yeah, I would have been happy taking the trade even though it wasn't real. The value wasn't there.
Yeah,
because I believe that he would have been available at 17, even in real life. I think he's going to be there. And if not, we would have had Greg Lloyd as a consolation prize. So
Devin Lloyd.
Yeah. So all right, so here we go. Now we're at pick 35.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have an edge and we have a wide receiver.
Okay.
And now we have decisions to make.
Okay.
So first, let's look. We got let's look at the board and see who's still there. So I'm gonna show the big board so you can see it. Elam, Perion Winfrey, because we did not take a tackle.
Mm-hmm.
Jaquan Brisker, Devontae Wyatt, another defensive tackle. Kenneth Walker, the running back. Desmond Ritter. Ajabo still there. Oh, he dropped down.
Ajabo.
Yeah,
I know. That was just terrible. Terrible.
Yeah. Do we know what it is yet? Please say it's ACL in that ankle.
It's a torn Achilles.
Oh, no. Shit.
Yep.
McCreary, Boye Mafe, Drake Jackson. I think I went down pretty far. Like anybody that you'd pick. So those are the guys on the board. When you keep going down, you see their I guess you gotta. Oh, it doesn't let me keep going down unless I make it smaller. Oh, because of the trade. Okay, so you got the idea. Here's the trade. Let me blow that up. Dallas is offering us 56.88 in a second for 35 and 111. I'll just quickly say I'm against that, just so we can speed things up.
Yeah, I'm not for that either.
Okay. And the Raiders, same kind of thing. They want us to go down to all the way down to
third round. Yeah, and I'm gonna pass on that also.
Okay, so we both agree. No, we want to draft. Okay.
You're up.
Okay. Based on placement value and what we've done so far, by taking an edge and a wide receiver, I want to get back to the trenches. And I think at this point, because I think right now is the time to secure a defensive tackle. Now, I'm going to be honest. I don't really care which one. I know he's ranked a little higher, but I actually prefer Devontae Wyatt to Perion Winfrey. But I'm not going to sit there and claim I'm an expert at it. So, but I'll let the I don't want to challenge you if you want Perion Winfrey. But I'm going to say that my move here would be, if nobody was here and I was all by myself and I had this magical button to control Joe Douglas, I would take Devontae Wyatt right here.
Okay. So I'm between two guys. Devontae Wyatt's one of them. So I'm trying to decide if I want to lean with you, but just for the sake of argument and for our draft here, and I think you can make a valid argument. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select Jaquan Brisker.
Okay.
From Penn State, the safety. Man, he's a good ball player. And, he got better every year at Penn State, gets up and down the field. He could turn into that true center field free safety that we have while we have Whitehead roaming around the line. He's skilled enough to play in man. He gives enough run support that he can move forward with it. And again, the back end of our defensive backfield, we have Ashton Davis, who we're still, the question is still out. Is he going to be the guy? We did bring back LaMarcus Joyner on another 1-year deal, who's now going to be 32 years old. So it's a position that I think we're going to need. And again, with the trends leaning towards more big nickels with multiple safeties on the field, I think Jaquan Brisker would be a great pick. So I'm going to say Jaquan Brisker.
Okay. So J is for Jeremy, which would be Devontae Wyatt.
Mm-hmm.
D would be for Dom, which is Brisker. I think we'd both be okay with either one. I don't think either of us are that.
And I will say this. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Jeremy. If Brisker wasn't on the board, my choice would have been to go along with you and take the big man.
Right. And I feel the same way. Like if JD ended up, if this happened and we took Brisker, I would not be upset at all.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with the next pick coming up.
Correct.
In 3 spots. So that's why I really wouldn't mind at all. So we got 1 for Jay, 1 for Dom. That's 1 up. I like Jaquan, so we'll put that as for you. So that's 2. One of these steps probably will be there at 38, but that's not a vote. Okay, so what did I say?
I'm lost in the chat, so I'm going to leave that part to you.
Okay, so you're up 2-1, and I get the next one 2-2. Then Silva 3-2 you, then 3-3. Peo is not making any sense. He's not voting. 3-3. Gitmo is you. 4-3 you. 4-3 you. 5-3 you. 5-4. 5-5. 6-5 me. 7-5 me. 8 Okay, 6-5 me because I didn't vote. Oh no, I didn't vote for Dom C. Okay, too late. You put it in that you like them 7-5. So I'm sorry, I misread that as a vote. Okay, 7-6 me. We take Devon Wyatt. We lose Brisker. Okay. So here's something I didn't think about. So I'm gonna like, even though they're voting for mine, I think they're making a really good point. I think with two safeties, with two defensive tackles left on the board that I'd be happy with, and there's no other safeties backing me up, like we go all the way down, we drop down really far. If we don't get the safety, I'm going to change my mind. I'm saying that with the third, because we have the 38th pick, and because there's no other safety in sight, someone in the chat made me realize I think it would be a mistake to go defensive tackle and miss out on Brisker. I think it's safer to take Brisker here and then get the defensive tackle with the next pick, because one of the two top guys will be there. So I'm pulling an Anthony Barr, and I'm gonna go with you and say that that's the right move. Let's take Brisker.
Come on, Jaquan. Come down to Florham Park, baby.
Right. So we got Brisker, and then okay, so it wasn't the one I wanted as much, but Perion Winfrey is on the board.
Okay.
So
I'm not and you know my rule, I don't entertain trades from the Pats, the Dolphins, or the Bills.
Me neither. Kick tires. Tampa wants us to go all the way down to 60, and they'll give us a 91, but they won our 111, so that doesn't have as much value. And then they want to give us their second next year. So that's bullshit.
Correct.
Okay. So let's blow this up. Okay, so I obviously made it very clear. I think there's a big drop in defensive tackles after Winfrey is off the board. So,
well, I'm gonna respectfully disagree with that. I still think there's some big bodies on there. But Perion Winfrey would probably be my choice here. The only other areas that I think we need to address, because we passed on, because the chat voted against Nakobi Dean at 10. Yeah, I think we need to, we can talk about a linebacker here. Also, very sneaky. I don't think it's a bad idea, or I wouldn't put it past looking past the running backs. I mean, they're all still on the board, and I don't know if I'd necessarily pull the trigger right here, with considering Perion Winfrey staring us in the face. You got the likes of every other second-tier linebacker staring us in the face. Kaiir Elam, who's who's a man amongst boys when it comes to size and tenacity and coverage skills. He's staring us in the face. So to take running back here might be a little too rich for my liking. Mm-hmm. So the choice really comes down to, do we fix the hole up front with the big defensive lineman, or do we put one of these linebackers into play? So my two choices here are Winfrey or Christian Harris. And man, I'm going to go Perion Winfrey.
Okay.
I just think the talent that and what he brings to the table right now, I'll roll the dice later on in the draft that there might be a linebacker that I like just as much. I don't want to roll that same dice and hope that the likes of Fadarius Matthews hopefully fall to me, fingers crossed. Where I know that there's linebackers that will still suit my need. Plus, I keep forgetting Sherwood's coming back, God willing. He's healthy from his Achilles tear, and Damian Sherwood, he's a Spitfire missile, man. I know he's learning the position and whatnot, but I like his his edge, and I like what he brings to the game. I love a guy that can hit. That's my MO. So
okay, so Dean is off the board. People were asking. So we both said Perion Winfrey. Remember, this format is if we agree, we just make the pick. If we don't agree, the chat decides. I'm just letting anybody who's new here, anybody who joined late that doesn't know that. So we're going to take Perion Winfrey because we agreed. Let me back out of this a little bit.
To Adam's point, 6'3", 290. Yes, that might be smaller on comparatively, but he's a menace in the run, and he can get at it in the pass. He's well worth the price of admission, and those numbers I wouldn't be too concerned about. I'd be more than comfortable bringing him in that defensive line rotation.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it. I've watched a lot of tape on him. He's a stud. Yeah, he's a stud. He's I mean,
I don't think he'll in real life. I don't think he'll be there for us at 35 or 38. I think he's a first round pick.
Possibly. A lot of teams want tackles. You got to stop the run in this league, and you got to have a little pass rush even from the inside. So
especially with all of these trades that have been happening, all these and the free agent signings and this and that. Some of these teams that might have gone wide receiver or might have gone quarterback, are filling those needs. So the guys like the Perion Winfreys of the world, the Christian Harris, the Christian Watkins, they're just going to rise up the board.
Yeah. So here's what we have so far. Kayvon Thibodeau, we got our edge. Garrett Wilson, and if Elijah Moore ends up being a number one, which I got his jersey. You see my video. There's no one that loves Elijah more than me, only as much as me. I mean, I love him. I absolutely believe in my heart 100% he could be a solid number one wide receiver, that he's going to be a very special player in this league. Now, if Garrett Wilson works out and is a WR1 type of receiver, that's not bad for us to have two freaking crazy lunatic guys and Corey Davis as your bigger guy. It's a nice thing, right? And then Jaquan Brisker, he goes right into the starting lineup. Plug him right in. He's our starter right there with Whitehead. Awesome. And then Perion Winfrey is probably going to start, starting rotation right off the bat. And if Q Williams doesn't stay, if we can't re-sign Quinnen, if he wants too much, if something like that happens, at least we have another stud guy there in place. So if he pans out, but which I believe he will.
I want to just speak to Braden real quick. What's up, mate? How are you, buddy?
He doesn't want a wide receiver in the first.
It wasn't my choice. It wasn't my choice for Garrett Wilson. I just want that on the record.
You should have been here to vote, Mike. If you were here, you would have been, that would have tied the vote, and we would have figured it out.
Yeah.
But you weren't here to vote, and this is the format. Now, to WR10 is a huge reach. Yeah, but understand, this is not real. This didn't happen. So don't worry about it. It's okay. We're just having fun. It's weird because on Twitter, everyone wants a wide receiver. Like Sack Exchange, if Steve from Sack Exchange was here, he'd be going nuts and be animate. But it depends on the people you're talking to. Like a lot of green bean people, and I'm a green bean person. He has a strong influence in his world and with us and Braden, like a lot of us. And I agree with this to an extent. I agree that there might not be as much drop-off between Garrett Wilson and the other receivers we can get as there is in other positions. But you heard my thinking. I was in one of those moods where I wanted the safest wide receiver pick. I just wanted the guy that didn't have any, issues.
Absolutely. And as I said, if he was the pick, I'm all for it.
Yeah. So here we go. This is kind of nice. I don't know if you like him, but I see someone right away in one of the positions of need for us in the third round. There's someone on the board that jumps out at me. I think it's your turn to go first.
It is my turn to go
I'm
first.
just going to show these names.
Yeah.
If there's any position at this point that you want me to highlight, just let me know and I'll highlight it for you.
Two things real quick. I'm just looking for a specific name in the running backs. Can you just click the running backs for me real quick?
Sure.
I know Kenneth Walker's sitting there squaring my face, but I'm actually looking for Breece Hall if he's still on the board.
He's not.
He's gone.
Green Beans boy Isaiah Spiller is.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna pass on Spiller. And one more thing, can you just click on the offensive tackles if you don't mind?
Oh, the 400-pounders there.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna pass on theirs too. I was looking for, like I said, I was looking for specific names. I was looking for Tyler Smith in particularly, if he was there. Okay, so I'm up. I'm leaning right now. I think running back is in play, and I see Kenneth Walker sitting there on the board, and maybe, just maybe, the value for Kenneth Walker may be too good to pass up. But I think I'm going to go ahead and take linebacker. Or look at the linebackers, I should say. I'm not going to take linebacker yet. Can you click on the linebackers for me, Jeremy?
Sure.
Brandon Smith, Asamoah, Damian Clark, Beavers. Yeah, there was a big run on linebackers.
Yeah.
Leo Chanel is still there. Brandon Smith, I have my opinions on Brandon Smith. I know that he's a hot name, and especially when, in Jets media land, when everyone started to do these simulated mock drafts, Brandon Smith was a name we always kind of fell on. In reviewing, when I reviewed the linebackers, like, he wasn't my favorite. He's athletic, which I think is a super plus. He's fast, which I think is the super plus. But I think he, from last year to this year, his football actually, he was asked to do different. He was asked to do different things. He was kind of that rover, kind of big safety / linebacker 2 years ago, and I think he excelled in that role where he just got to use his athleticism. Playing more of a true weak side linebacker this past season, he struggled at times, and that's the stuff that I saw. So, do you bet on the athletic ability of Brandon Smith? I don't know. I probably won't. But man, there was a big run on those linebackers there. Quay Walker's another guy that I like, who's gone. Channing Tindall is in the mold of a Brandon Smith. Kind of, I don't know if he's a true linebacker, and maybe that's just a thing, because I don't know, outside of Mosley, I don't know if the Jets have any real true linebackers on their team. Quincy Wilson is great, and he's he plays the run phenomenally. He can't do nothing against the pass. Whereas guys like Brandon Smith and Chen and Tyndall, I think, are possibly the opposites. They're the guys who can go at it, can cover, can get in man on those big slots on the tight ends, do that well, force pressure from the inside, force pressure from the outside, but asked to get up there and get in a line and shed a block and make a tackle at the line. I don't know if those guys are to do it. So I'm at a little conundrum here. I'm not sure which way I'm going to go. Can you give me that big board again? And what does the inside interior lineman look like? Go up.
Well, this is as high as it goes now.
Yeah.
I'll scroll. Ed Ingram is around.
Yeah, not a fan. Logan Hall I like, but we've already taken our defensive lineman. And we're at pick 69, right?
Yep.
Okay, here's what I'm going to do.
Mm-hmm.
This is not going to be a fan favorite. I can tell you that much. If it goes to a vote, I plan on losing, but I'm going to explain my reasoning. My choice is going to be Daniel Falele, offensive tackle, Minnesota, and here's why. We need to build depth in our offensive line. I don't think Falele is a plug-and-play guy. I don't think Falele needs to be a plug-and-play guy. But you can't coach size, and what he can offer alone in size and strength really can't be matched in this team. If you put him in front of Benton and give him some time to learn behind the George Fants, behind the Mekhi Bectons, give him a year or so. Maybe if we don't bring back Fant next year, he can, he's ready to slide in on the right side at right tackle. And if we bring back Fant, then we have ourselves our swing tackle, which we don't have to worry about. Like it or not, the guy's going to be a day 2 pick. I know there's a lot of rumblings, especially before the combine, that he was a day 1 pick. But I think that, like I said, the fall off in those tackles kind of outweighs the fall off that there would be if I went running back here. So I'm going to go ahead and say Daniel Falele, and I'm going to shore up my offensive line, for the future. Now and for the future, I should say.
I just think there's too much talent left on the board to take like our future tackle, right now. And there's too many question marks. Like, I think he might be good, but he didn't look really good at the Senior Bowl. So there's a lot of questions with his technique and whether he could be coached up or not. And there's a lot of risk.
Mm-hmm.
Like I wouldn't mind him in the the 100s in our next round as a flyer. Like, I wouldn't go crazy, but I couldn't do it now with so much talent on the board. I think the big need here is linebacker, and although there are guys I really like on the bottom half, I think we could double up even on linebacker and grab a Leo Chanel maybe later if we want. But I just take the solidly coached Penn State guy, Penn State University, good reputation for putting good linebackers out. He's rated well on a lot of boards. We just need a linebacker, so I have to say Brandon Smith.
That's fine. I'm laughing at Adam. I'm voting Jay regardless. I told you it wasn't going to be the popular pick, but like I said, to me it makes sense. And I hear what you're saying about linebackers. Braden Smith is not my favorite in the group. But let's see what the chat says, and I'm sure we're going to have a linebacker on our team.
Well, Matthew Smith, you can only vote once, Matthew Smith. Dark Soldier's voting for you because I pulled the Anthony Barr move. Everybody else seems to be Jay right now. So Watts, 2K, Gerard. Gitmo's going to be Jay because he's going nuts. He doesn't. Yeah. Cheesecake and Matthew Smith. You already voted. That's 3 times you voted. Stop it.
I think the J. I see all J's on my board here.
Yeah. Okay. So what about Ruckert? Yeah. What about Ruckert? You obviously didn't pay attention to the format here. So let's take Brandon Smith. Oh. Okay. I think it's my turn to go first on what I would do. And for me, it looks like it's going to be fairly easy.
Okay.
I think we're at that point where we bring on our future tight ends. We got a couple of really good veterans. I like that, but I want to get a young guy in the room someone who can, be the future guy. And I like both of these guys on top. I really do. But I like Jake Ferguson a little bit better. So I would take Jake Ferguson.
Okay. That's fair. I'm going to ask you to pan down to the running backs, if you don't mind.
Okay.
I see my guy, and I think you know who I'm going to lean towards here.
Yeah, I know.
So, and I love Michael Carter. I absolutely do. I think he's talented. I love the fact for a guy who might be so small in stature, everything he does is done moving forward. He takes, he has such beautiful contact balance that he takes a hit and he can keep moving. He keeps his feet moving and moving forward, so on and so forth. But Michael Carter, the jury's still out if can be a true 3-down horse. He never had to do it. He never had to do it in college. He hasn't done it here yet because he's just breaking into it, you know. And to boot, you know, if LaFleur kind of continues in the mold of, you know, Kyle Shanahan, you know, thinking or mindset of offense, they want guys that are in and fresh and having a true rotation, running back by committee and then some. So what better, you know, if you look at Michael Carter at the University of North Carolina, he had a wonderful college career, you know, earned him to be the fourth round pick here. Probably deserved higher. I'm surprised he fell that low. You know, his counterpart was a big, you know, 5'11", 195 pound, 200-pound guy who was just a bruiser. You know what I mean? He was the thunder to Michael Carter's lightning. You know, and I think that looking at that board, this would be the perfect complement to Michael Carter. And I'm gonna offer Damian Pierce from University of Florida. You know, he's fast. He's not, you know, he takes a minute to get going. You know, he's got long speed. He could break away from guys, but this guy runs ferociously. He's vicious. He is the prototypical, you know, zone blocking scheme running back where he's going to take one cut and just run, and he's going to run through you and he's going to hurt you. And he does all the things, you know, like I said, a perfect complement to Michael Carter. And to boot, he's got very, very, very reliable soft hands. He gets his nose in there and he's not afraid. You know, he's very adept at the pass pro. You know, take away your past, you know, conceptions of Florida running backs. He's not Michael P. Ryan. I think he's a wonderful, wonderful schematic fit for the Jets, and he would be my pick right here.
Okay, I just want to point out he's the 131st overrated player, and we have a pick at 117.
And he's my pick right here.
Okay, no, I gotcha, and people are already liking it. It appears you already have 2 votes, so it's J if you want Ferguson, the tight ends, and it's D if you want Damian Pierce, the running back. So it's Damian Pierce, the running back, or let me go to the overall. So what do we have here? Let me see. We have 1, 2 for you. So 3 for 3. Then we have then all of a sudden it's 3-2. Then it's 4-2 you, 4-2, 4-3 because it's 5-3 you. Now it's looking like all D's. So, okay, so you got it, man. We are taking...
Stud City, I don't know if I understand your question. Is there a player you ever mentioned that the Jets actually drafted?
I don't understand that. What is that? I don't know what that means. Like, how would we know that? The draft hasn't happened yet. Is he talking about the past?
I don't know. That's why I asked.
I mean, look, you could sit there and say you've guessed every pick JD has made in the past, but there's, you know, it's not on tape. Starting now forever, we'll have records of every pick we make and every things we think the Jet, you know, like, but like, there's no way to bring up the past now because, you know, none of us have any reason, you know, that we weren't on YouTube. So, I don't know what the answer to that question is.
I like Thompson Nazoldine. I didn't see him as a linebacker, but I liked him as a Jet. If that is what you're talking about, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, we like a lot of guys, so some of them might end up a Jet. I mean, we're gonna hit on something. But anyway, I took Damian Pierce. Did I make the pick? No, I didn't make the pick. I got to make the pick. I don't know. I don't understand the question fully because the draft didn't happen yet. So, and I don't know if we're trying to predict what JD would do. I think we're just saying what we would do in our opinions. So, the Jets, there's a trade offer, and I'm kind of not interested in giving away picks for next year.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to see which tight end survived, if any of them. Kate Otten survived. I know people like Jilani Woods, but you go first, so I don't know. I should shut up. Let me show you the big board first, and then let me know if you want to drill down by position.
Positions. I mean, tight end is an option. I think, you can always double up at if there was a linebacker or an edge that you like, you could double up there. We haven't touched the cornerback room, but I'm pretty comfortable with our cornerback room. I think at this point you're just bringing in another guy, and that's just it. That's exactly what it'd be. Would just be another guy. So I'd probably say overall, like what we're looking at, we can either double up at linebacker. I'm comfortable going towards the interior of the offensive line. Again, we still haven't necessarily addressed this offensive line. We still could use a swing tackle. Because I don't know if Chumadoga is going to be on this roster past this season. So I'm going to lean offensive line here. So can you bring that up for me, Jeremy?
Tackle or guard?
Well, let's look at both.
So here's the tackles.
Okay. In fairness, I gotta be honest. I'm not familiar or not very familiar with the guy from North Dakota. I didn't do any sort of real in-depth work on him. Braxton Jones is interesting. Marion Cunningham's a big boy. I don't know how much how much of a fit he really is. I'm just looking. Oh, Iowa. I already looked for him, dude. I was talking about my man from Tulsa, but he was long gone. I looked at him in the 3rd round, dude. Tyler Smith is what he's talking about. Can you show me the interior, Jeremy?
Yes, definitely.
Gabe Mays, good ball player.
Better selection, I think.
Yeah. Donovan West is another guy I like. I like his versatility. He can play both. He can back up all 3 interior spots. But I think I'm gonna lead with Cade Mays. Cade Mays I'm comfortable with. Oh, I didn't see Cole Strange there. He's another guy. I thought Cade Mays was the first guy there.
No.
Now you make it a little bit more of a challenge. But you know what? I already said Cade Mays. I'm gonna lean Cade Mays and shore up the interior of my offense. I still think we need a tackle, but the juice is worth the squeeze here to go interior.
Okay. And I'm going to say, I cannot wait any longer. I know people like Jilani Woods, but I really like Kate Otten. He's a Rusty Spooner guy. Loved his
I think Bean likes Kate Otten a lot too.
Yeah. I think Bean likes him too. But you know what? I forgot to look at one thing.
Go ahead.
Okay, so you want Cade Mays. I really like Cole Strange too.
Yeah, well, you know what? Well, like I said, when you pan down on the guards, Cade Mays was the first one I saw. I didn't see Cole Strange there.
Yeah, I need to say, like, if it's I would do Cade Otten. So guys, D for Cade Mays, the offensive tackle, or J for tight end Cade Otten. Matthew Smith loves you. 1-0. He always votes D.
Maybe he just doesn't like you.
I don't like that Jeremy guy. Freaking bald. John Silva likes it. Same thing. They hate me. No, 2, 3. Look at this, man. They like the interior. Okay.
Well, listen,
Okay, you got it.
Cade Mays played some time at tackle too. It's not that he can't do
Right.
it on the outside, but I just think at the next level, he's probably meant to be on the inside. I think that's where he's going to,
We don't want to
really cut his teeth.
We don't want to see Feeney in. Point taken.
I don't want to see Feeney in either.
Oh, and Matt likes Jilani a lot more. Okay. So that's fine. No, that's fine. So we're going to take, I like this. I have nothing against what's happening here. Like, you see, that's what I'm saying is like, to me, there's no way to lose because if in this situation we took Cade Mays, I'm clapping. You know what I mean? If the Jets are on the podium and we take Cade Mays, I'm totally good with that, dude.
Yeah.
I'm like totally fine. Because it's not like it's a player I don't want or a position I don't want. It's just hard, it's like here we are. It's hard to decide. I mean, there's a lot of options and we have to pick one. So I'm trying to be honest about what I would do.
Yeah. Now listen, I know Cole Strange was talked about or also up there. And listen, he'd be a viable option also. But I think they're of the same caliber and talent. They have some upside. They're big guys. Cade Mays is versatile. He played during his time in college, he played all four offensive line spots minus center. So, I think guys like that are good, solid backups. And, if you get something down from them down the road, that's wonderful. There's been tons of offensive linemen, tons of all-pro offensive linemen that have come out of the 4th and 5th round.
Okay, I'm just going to let Nick know there's no way I would take a kicker now because we don't have late round picks, but our 163 pick could get a kicker if we wanted, like if we decide to go that way. So there's just no reason to take a kicker right now. Like there's two guys, there's no way that one of them won't be there. There's two good kickers that I like. So I would never do that. I think I go first now, right? I would. Now's the time. Like we're running out of time. I want a young tight end, so again, I would push for a tight end, and now I would take Jilani Woods because he's the best tight end left.
And my thoughts of Jilani Woods. I think he's a wonderful talent. But if you scroll all the way up to the top of that board, there's a very effective from small school, Coastal Carolina.
Yeah, I love him.
Twitchy athlete. Can do it can really get after at the edge. Yes, you got to question, the level of competition at Coastal Carolina. But at this point, I'm gonna bank on the upside, and I'm gonna bring in another edge and say Jeremy Gunter.
Oh, Jeffrey Gunter. Yeah. And
Jeffrey, I'm sorry.
I want you to know, me and Rusty are very big on Jerry Gunter. So I love him. I have no problem with that. I'd be very happy if we took Gunter. I'm going to do one thing. I'm going to look at the tight ends and say, Watuke wants me to try to pronounce the name of the tight end from Maryland. So here goes. Chigoziem Okonkwo. Chigoziem Okonkwo. There you go. I tried to pronounce it.
And Jeremy in Jeremy's language, that translate into Jilani Woods.
So here it goes, guys. We are going to take either vote D if you want Gunter, the defensive edge from Coastal Carolina. He used to beat the hell out of Zach Wilson, or if you want Jilani Woods, the tight end from Virginia, vote J. So John Silva is already a J, but it only
he's all J. He's all J's. Now let me ask you, Jeremy. Tell me about, as our tight end room sits right now, why and I'm not saying I'm not questioning. I'm just for sake of conversation. Why the push to add another body in there? Or is it that you're not sold on Uzama and Conklin? Is it the age of Uzama that scares you? Is it that you don't really believe in Yeboah? Or is it just at this point you think he's the best available?
I just think there's I think he's one of the best players left on the board, but I also think, and there's great value in this pick and taking him. But I also just want a young tight end because there's part of me that thinks this might take a few years before we're really competing, and neither of those two guys are under contract in 3 years from now, and they'll be older in 3 years from now. And if one of them ends up staying and really working out well and still playing at a high level, I don't know if both of them will. So I want to make sure there's a young guy that we're developing. I think it's a deep draft in tight ends.
So does that? So in your situation, would Jilani Woods take the roster spot of Kenny Yeboah?
No, Kenny Yeboah is special teams. He'd be what Brown was, because we already cut Brown. So Kenny Yeboah would be what Brown was. He'd be special teams, emergency tight end, still developing. And seeing if he's going, giving him an opportunity at some point. Maybe he'll step up and compete, because we don't know that Jilani Woods will beat out Kenny Yeboah.
Yeah.
Right.
That's my whole thing for not leaning toward, and it makes sense. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but that's my whole thing on not leaning towards a tight end necessarily. I think, we just paid money to bring two in, and they're here, and that's fine, and that's the now. And we have a third tight end in Yeboah who does, he can excel on special teams. And to have them here as a third tight end is wonderful. I just don't know if there's, if it comes down to holding a fourth tight end or, an eighth offensive lineman. I think I'd probably lean the second.
Yeah. But,
and that's to say, like, what I think about Jilani Woods. He's again, you can't coach size, and he's got tons of it at 6'7".
Yeah. Oh, coming soon. It doesn't show. Oh, it shows 6'7", 253. Okay, so the chat clearly wants Jilani Woods. I knew that they would. Mm-hmm. But that's okay. We could still throw another offensive lineman in the room at 163, or we could start thinking kicker.
I'm not going to take a kicker, but if that's what you're going to lean towards.
No. You go first. You go first anyway. I didn't say that. People in the chat wanted it. But before you go, there was a request from my good friend Braden. He wants me to pronounce the name in his New Zealand accent. So I'm going to try it. Are we going to take that guy Chikazium Aquanquo? Hopefully, mate. Chikazium Aquanquo might be a good mate. Have some Dunkin' Donuts, some coffee. Okay, so there you go. I did it. Okay, 5 people just left the stream. Okay, so it's all you. Let me. I'm gonna put it on the all. Let me blow it up. This is the one that always takes the longest and pisses people off. They're like, "Really? We're gonna sit here and fight over the 163 for 2 hours?" Okay. Here is your board. Did we take a running back?
We did.
We did. Okay.
Yep, we did. Well, listen, can you click on the linebackers for me?
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know. I don't know if you were watching my show the other night.
Which one?
We were watching some tape on some players.
You know what? I caught it, but I didn't see you do Jojo Doman or Jacoby Maclean. I'm not sure which one.
I did Jacoby Maclean.
Did you?
Yeah, I did Jacoby Maclean.
And what were your thoughts on him?
My thoughts on him but I'm learning this now, so I'll say 2 things. My thoughts from watching his highlights is that he's very, very good, like excellent. It's very explosive, like he explodes, like gets to a high speed very quickly. But also what I've learned is when you just watch somebody's highlights, it's different than watching like a full game or 2.
Sure, absolutely.
Because I gotta say, I was watching some North Dakota, some Montana State, and I'm now much more concerned about Troy Anderson,
right?
Because he was like disappearing for so long.
Yeah.
So they're pulling out some highlights, but they don't show you so much of a game where he's invisible. Like not doing anything. And I'm thinking, well, if he's invisible in that conference, how's he going to come into the NFL and be anything?
Listen, I did a good in-depth piece on Troy Anderson, which is going to be posted on Green Bean's site this week. And I said this, along the same lines. It was, you just hit it on the head. At times he seems lost. Now, he hasn't been playing linebacker that much, so you give him, you got to give him the benefit of the doubt. But, he's an athlete. He's an athlete right now before he's a linebacker.
Yeah.
He's more athlete than he is linebacker at this point.
But
so that's why I was curious on what you thought about Jacoby Maclean.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Jacoby Maclean definitely is kind of like in that boat of Troy Anderson. It's like in the sense. Now, I haven't watched game tape of him yet, so maybe I'd like him even better. But I mean, at this point of a draft, would be an exciting dart throw, because the explosiveness is really kind of like that translates in the sense that it is what it is. The guy has the ability to go from 0 to full speed in a very short, distance. So if that, and then we got the kind of coaches that are very good at coaching defensive players, and he could potentially be definitely a hidden diamond, right? Like, he definitely could be. So, I mean, I'm not saying pick him right now. I didn't look at everybody else yet in other positions.
Well,
but I definitely like Jacoby.
I'm going to lean, and it's not because I wasn't asking for you. I think he's got enough sideline to sideline speed where, he can, he's got enough sideline to sideline speed to perform at the next level. I didn't dive too deep in him yet. He's another guy on a short list that I still have to do a lot of homework on. But at this point in the draft, that's the way I'm going to lean. I'm going to lean Jacoby Maclean.
Well, I don't see anybody I know or care about at all, except for Kyle Phillips. But I already took Garrett Wilson. We re-signed Berrios. And to me, when we re-signed Berrios, it took a lot of the oomph out of Kyle Phillips, because Berrios is, just getting started. And it just doesn't – it seems like Berrios could be the guy that rides it out for the next 4 to 5 years for us. And also, I don't think in future drafts, if it didn't work out in future drafts, I don't think like a punt returning gadget type play receiver in a well-coached team is that hard to find. Like, I think there are, I don't think it would be impossible. I think next year there'll be the next Kyle Phillips you can get in the 5th round. And the year after that, there'll be a guy. I just think there's a lot of those kind of players that are very fast and smart and very coachable to execute these kind of plays that we use Berrios in. And it's not to disrespect Berrios, because he's a great special teamer, and it's great to have a guy that does it and has a great attitude and is a great guy in the locker room. I think I'm very happy with his signing, but I just don't think we need another Berrios type of player right now on our team.
No, I thought, I see what some people saw in Kyle Phillips, but to me, he was just a guy.
Yeah.
He was nothing more than that. But yes, I agree wholeheartedly with what you said. The bringing back Berrios and then bringing in Kyle Phillips would be kind of overkill. Yeah. Where they handle the same thing. Adam, to your point, Rose, if I'm not mistaken, I believe he's the linebacker from Iowa State. And if it's the same guy that we're talking about, but he's a good ball player. I think he's more of a 2-down kind of old school inside linebacker thumper.
So we took Jacoby Maclean because we agreed. Sorry, John Silva. I know you wanted to look at cornerbacks, but it didn't make sense because we agreed.
A guy like that, he's a depth piece. Maclean, that is, he's a depth piece. You hope that he can, develop more. And, he's a guy that's going to, step in and be part of your special teams. You're not drafting 7 or 8 plug and play starters. Thank God we're not.
Yeah. There you go. And okay, so here's the draft. You guys can grade it. Let me go through it first, Gitmo. And don't grade it on base whether or not you got one pick that you wanted or not. Okay. Look at the draft and decide what your grade is if this happens in real life. Thibodeau, Garrett Wilson, Jaquan Brisker, Perion Winfrey, Brandon Smith, Damian Pierce, Cade Mays, offensive guard, Jilani Woods at tight end, Jacoby Maclean at linebacker. Grade it, and we'll see how we did. It's not my favorite draft in the world. We didn't get any draft capital, but I'd be very happy
I don't
with
think we
it.
traded. We didn't make one trade.
We didn't make one trade. I'd be very happy just because of Thibodeau. Like just Thibodeau. I mean, like if we walk away with Thibodeau, it's going to be very hard for me to be upset with this draft. So Mess gives it a B. That's pretty good. Nick with an A. That surprises me. Okay, I thought I didn't. That's pretty amazing. Okay, a B. Okay, these are decent grades. Okay, still an A minus. That's a great grade. Okay. B plus. I like this because the chat had a lot of influence, right? They voted for both of us at different times.
Yeah.
That really impacted and changed this draft. So the chat definitely helped with this draft. And I would love to know why Gitmo Bob is a D plus. I'm sure you'll tell us. But D plus from Gitmo Bob, which is kind of like a C plus in relative.
I love Gitmo, but in any of these votes, I've never seen him. The highest grade I think I've ever seen from is like a C minus.
And B plus, great top 3 rounds. Okay. Okay. John Silva really likes Nakobi Dean. I love him too. I really do. I don't want people to think I don't love Nakobi Dean. I do. If we get the right trade offer for 10 or 4, like Thibodeau wasn't there, we got a better offer for 10. If we would have gotten a better offer, I would have been very, like if Pittsburgh would have made us an offer for 10, like, and we only had to go down to 20, and they offered us like what they usually offer us, like the second, the third, and next year's second or something, I would have been very up for that, and I would have grabbed Nakobi Dean. I would. So we're not far off on Nakobi Dean. I love the kid. Actually, A minus for the first 2 picks. Love them. Okay. We know who that is, by the way. Steve gives it a C. Average. Okay. Never too old to be a wise ass. Welcome. Haven't seen you in a while. He keeps changing his name, but I always recognize who it is by his font and by his profile picture. So now I know. I always recognize who it is. He changes his name a lot, though. Welcome, buddy. Thanks for being here. Stanley Spector.
A minus.
A minus. That's a pretty good grade. I hope that you've subbed to the channel. First time I've seen you in the chat. Welcome, Stanley. Thanks for coming. Gitmo, we need your live reaction to every pick in April. I would love that. If Gitmo was willing to do it, I would totally film him or whatever. Let him record himself. That'd be awesome. So just so you know, even though I'm going to be at the draft party with Green Bean and on the panel with Ryan and Matt, like I'm going to be watching like you guys and in the chat, I am going to record every pick. Like my wife's going to record me so you guys can see my reaction, and I'll turn it into like I'll do a video where I play the reactions for you. So I will do that, and it won't be fake. I don't have to fake stuff like that. You guys, those of you who have seen me on Jets Nation watching with Green Bean know that I don't have to embellish. My reaction is pretty entertaining to things that I'm emotional about. Just kidding, solid B, but I do hope Thibodeau is not a head case.
Yeah. Listen, if he's the Jets pick, I sure agree with that statement. He's a talented football player. And I'm going to hang my hat on that for now, because if there's serious issues, if there's anyone that's going to wave the red flag and pass on them, it'll be the Jets. So we'll see. We'll see if all of it's a lot of smoke and whatnot. The one thing that I think we can all say is everything around One Jets Drive and Florham Park is always tight-lipped, right? Those leaks never come out, or no one ever, breaks anything, so on and so forth. So, I mean, if you're hearing that JD doesn't like them, or the Jets don't like them, or they're going to pass on them because this and that, take it with a grain of salt, because we don't know if that's true or false, and we will never know if that's true or false.
Yeah. So Cheesecake, the only reason we talk about you like you're the devil is because based on our waistlines, Cheesecake is definitely the devil. Because it makes you fat, and I'm trying to go on a diet, and Cheesecake is like, I can't say no to Cheesecake. I don't like Wilson at 10, too high for defensive tackle, and I wanted a better linebacker, run stuffing defensive tackle to be found in the mid rounds. There's nothing about that I find unreasonable at all. Everything he says I agree with to an extent. Like there are moments where I don't like a wide receiver at 10, and I'd be perfectly happy with Trey Burks or Christian Watson in the second round. In certain moments, I go into different moods. You know what I mean? So I swing to different moods. Defensive tackle, I bet there are a few mid-round tackles defensive tackles are going to end up being very good NFL run stuffers. So you're right. If we found the right guy, that will be proven true based on, someone will, whether we grab them or not, I don't know. But if we look back in 5 years, there'll be a defensive tackle in the mid rounds from this draft class that is a good run stuffing defensive tackle. Can't argue with that. I would have loved to get Nakobi Dean as well. So nothing wrong with that. I think you're a harsh grader based on those things because we still got some pretty good things, but there's nothing you said that I don't agree with. Subscribe, Stanley, before. No threatening, no threats. Stanley might already be subscribed. I get a lot of people who participate in the chat that say, no, I've been subscribed. I just haven't thrown anything in the chat yet in a while. Like I'm not a chat person. But if you're not subscribed, give it a sub, Stan. You're not the devil, J. Cole. You're as sweet as devils. Okay. We know the staff will do their homework. Yeah, they will. I trust them too.
Absolutely.
I really do trust them. Thanks, honey. I still believe that one of the 2 first rounds will be Lindstrom or Equano. Yeah, I would. If it happens, I'd want it to be Linderbaum. If it happened, I don't want the confusion of who are we going to trade or who's going to sit on the bench, and have I'd rather it be Linderbaum because then we know who our starting 5 are, no controversy, and that would be a hell of an offensive line.
Well, I'm confused on that statement, though, Jeremy. So if it's Linderbaum, you know who your starting 5 is. Does that mean Linderbaum's in and McGovern's out?
Oh, yeah. We get rid of that $9 million. We free up that $9 million. That's part of the appeal of Linderbaum because we could free up the $9 million. And whether we use it or not, I don't care because we can carry it over. That's fine.
Interesting.
That's my opinion of it. Aquano, as much as I love him, and I love him, I just don't know what we would do. Like, would we bench Becton or Fant? Would we? I know it's a good problem to have, but
exactly. You took the words out of my mouth. That's exactly what I was saying. What a wonderful problem to have. I think everything would have to align perfectly for either. I mean, I don't think Linderbaum's up for debate at 4, but they would really have to really, really, really love Ike Ekwonu, and everything would have to fall in line where you say, the top 3 edges, their top 3 edges are off the board, 1, 2, and 3. That's the only that right now. That's the only way that's the way my mind wraps around it. Is that they have a top 3 and those edges are all off the board. As much as and I can make the argument for Hamilton. I can also make the argument against Hamilton, but I just don't see the Jets taking Hamilton at 4. And outside of that, I mean, if you have, just say, it doesn't matter who your edge 3 is. If it goes 1, 2, 3, and those 3 edges are off the board, you might and you get no traction, and no one wants to trade up because there's no real quarterbacks that people want to come up. That's who they're coming up for. It might be that way. It might be Ike Ekwonu.
Yeah,
I don't think that's the case, but
yeah. David Gerard, I don't think you're a pessimist. I think you're a Jets fan, and we've experienced a lot of trauma. So that's what I think. Because I'm worried about everyone. There's no one I'm not secretly worried about because I'm a Jets fan. Like after Marvin Jones and Golston, there are guys throughout my life that I thought there's no way it could miss.
Yeah.
And what I've learned is Blair Thomas. I mean, we've had guys miss that you couldn't have believed it was possible. Like they were highly pursued guys. It's just unbelievable that the misses that we've seen. That's why we have to hope JD somehow detects that kind of thing, and even though we might never know it and hate him at the moment, but years later we'll say, "Oh, thank God he didn't pick that guy. Thank God he knew what he was doing."
Matt Smith, I don't want Winfrey because we have Q and JFM. So if we pick Travis Jones in the fourth, maybe. Listen,
Yeah,
Travis Jones is a great player. I don't even think he comes close to the fourth. But if you said defensive line was the pick there at 38 where we took him, and you took Travis Jones instead of Winfrey, I'd have no problem with it.
yeah.
They're a little different, and but they're both still outstanding, and they'll both be off the board by the middle of the second round. So.
Yeah,
My opinion.
Well,
my
maybe,
opinion. That's all this is. That's all this is, guys. This is my opinion. I'm not projecting or forecasting. What the Jets are going to do. I don't have any intel. This is just my thoughts. Given the opportunity to share my thoughts, and there's nothing better than that.
Yeah, but hey, if he would have slipped to the third, and we take him in the third, and would have taken Christian Harris,
Mm-hmm.
At linebacker or something in the second, that probably would have been a better draft. So,
well,
let me get. But then again, at the end of the day, we have to see how everybody pans out. So I think Gitmo is a Devin Lloyd guy, of course.
For Braden, it is.
Hey, if Becton doesn't work out, we could just stick him at defensive tackle, lead offensive lineman. You know what? I bet he could do it. I've told you what's going to happen. Tibbs at 4, Dean after a trade down. It's been foretold. I have spoken. And you know what? Iowa Jets fan, you could pass for like a little Yoda. Not Yoda. The guy from Mandalorian that says, I have spoken.
That might be the dopest profile pick, though, Iowan.
That is pretty dope. Sounds like he wants to eat them. I do love Aquano. He's a beast. He loves football and just has what I want to hit someone. I mean, look, I love Aquano, man. But we signed Laken Tomlinson. So I'm torn. It's not that I don't love him. I would be, if they picked him, I'd be confused. I wouldn't know what was going to happen, but I'd be freaking excited. There's no way I wouldn't be excited if Aquano became a Jet. I mean, that's like between AVT and Aquano, or Becton and Aquano, like those three guys, that's insane. But Linderbaum would be exciting too, man. Can you imagine AVT, Linderbaum, and Tomlinson in the middle there? Can you imagine what the running game would be like up the middle through the guards?
Oof. Disgusting.
Freaking crazy. It's going to be a crazy draft. It is. It's going to be crazy, man. It's going to be so much fun. Like, I cannot wait. It's going to be so amazing and awesome. Like, can you imagine what we're going to be like on that Thursday during the day? Like, just wanting to go home from work so we can watch this draft.
I took off.
Oh, really?
I took off that day. Absolutely.
That's great. What? Wait a second. What day is it exactly?
I think it's the 24th.
Oh, it's March 24th?
No, April.
No. April 24th. April 24th. Okay.
I believe it is.
No, I think that sounds about right. April 24th.
Nope, April 28th. I'm sorry.
28th. Okay. A Thursday, right?
Yes.
Hmm.
So I just saw an interesting comment in the chat from Anthony. He said Green Bay has 2 late round first picks. Would you consider taking both of them for 10? I'm just trying to do the math here. 660 plus 780 is what? About 1440. And 10 slots in at 1300. So, yeah, I mean, listen, the value's there.
Yeah.
You always, because there's always a tax that you got to pay to come up into the top 10 anyway. So, it's never going to be, exactly point for point. So, depending on what happens, what they do at 4 and how the rest of the board falls from 5 through 9, I'd be interested in that.
You could grab Thibodeau. You could grab Nakobi Dean or Lloyd at 22, possibly. Maybe Nakobi Dean. And then at 28, grab maybe Burke slips there or Dotson. Certainly. Or you could wait and get Christian Watson. And then at 28, get somebody else. Like that's a lot of good players. That's crazy. That's 5 guys.
The caveat to that is pick 21 is New England. And they're gonna fuck the Jets because they always do somehow, some way.
There'll be a
You know?
couple of guys there, though. There's
You
only
could be
so
you could be sitting there with your hands like rubbing together, waiting for that, either Dean or Lloyd to fall, and then New England take them right from you.
Mhm.
So,
What's up, my man? Tom Bon Jovi. Riding
hey,
in on
Tom.
his steel horse. He's wanted, dead or alive. I always mess it up. They have been quiet. We all know one thing. JD is a patient man. He's a patient man. I like the way you're just sitting there behind your mic. Defense. Iowan cannot wait for the draft. April
I know.
28th.
It is the 28th. Going to be exciting.
Oh, Gitmo is not a Lloyd guy because he's going to be an old man by the time his first season starts.
I think he was saying that tongue in cheek, Gitmo, because Braden is a huge Lloyd fan.
No, Braden is a huge Dean fan, I thought. We'll find out.
Is he still here?
I like Dean. Because Dean is a good, Dean. 38 days away.
Yes.
28th to the 30th. That's going to be a hell of a weekend. HT at 4. Then Kyle Hamilton at 10. It's the dream.
Who's HT? Is that supposed to be KT?
Maybe he meant KT.
I'm just saying if it's like a fat finger or something like that.
No, or HT Hutchinson? No. I don't know. He'll clarify, I'm sure. Drink more water, J. Cole. 1440. That's a long time ago, dude. I wasn't alive back then.
I think that's how much the
value. Okay.
And still, and Adam, while you posted that 1440, if 10 has a value of 1300, do you think that's fair? I know the value says it swings in the favor of the Jets, but you still have to factor in, you're going from the late 20s up into the top 10. And you always pay it. You always pay a little bit more for that. It's never, dollar for dollar or fake dollar for dollar.
Yep. I am now a subscriber out of respect for the work you've done. Thank you, man. That's nice.
Absolutely.
Shout is not my thing, but this year's got me involved. I was at the draft in 1981 at the New York City Hotel. That's crazy and amazing. Cool. Remember the draft was in New York every year?
Yes.
That's so cool. Well, thanks for subscribing. And hey, I give stuff away, so stay tuned. I'm going to give something away now, like right now, soon, in the next few minutes. I'm giving something away, guys. I am giving away, because you guys have been so supportive tonight. There's been so many of you. I am going to give away Deion Sanders rookie #1 prospect card from the NFL.
Whoa.
Sets.
That's got to have some value to it.
They're really not worth that much, but these are in mint condition. They've barely been touched. I have it in plastic now, so they are in really good condition. But you know what? I mean, even if it's only worth a few bucks, it's still Deion Sanders, and it's still a cool collector's item to have his rookie card, right? So Deion Sanders is going to be. We're going to give away a card tonight. So get ready, Stanley. Like, even though you don't usually participate, get ready to guess numbers or answers. I still have to figure out how I'm going to give it away and how I'm going to pick a winner. But I want it to be very random, and everyone has a chance to win. What is this? You're laughing out loud. You're getting better at my intro, Jeremy. One day I'm going to nail it, Tom. One day I'm going to nail your intro. JD will make them an offer you can't refuse. Basically, what I have to do is watch one of Frankie's videos, which I haven't had time to do in a long time, and like write down what he says, and then I'll be able to nail it. Let's see what Anthony is saying. The only thing worse than the Pats picking one before us is taking our guy. It's picking one player before the Pats, and then our guy busts, and Pats have a Hall of Famer. Yeah, it's typical, though, isn't it? Just clearing my name. Yeah, your name is cleared, buddy.
Hutch is there. Yeah, everyone loves him. Hey, Braden's back. Braden, are you a Lloyd fan or a Nakobi Dean fan?
Lloyd?
The score was Lloyd.
Lloyd or Dean, mate. So he meant KT. Hutchinson's a pipe dream. I'd run that trade. Oh, wait a second. Jeremy, you giving cards away tonight? Yes, I'm giving. Well, I'm giving away a Deion Sanders. I don't know if you were here just for that. I'm giving away a Deion Sanders rookie any minute now. Yes, I think that's pretty. Okay. Let's see. Let me look and see who's here. Prime time. Okay, so some people know who he is. They've heard of him before. They know his nickname. Some, some people. It's good. All right, so it's not a. First at the Felt Forum, then into Radio City. Musical. Oh, for the drafts. Yeah. I thought it was in a place called the New York Sports Club at one point. Braden's taking the day off too.
Yeah, you kind of got to. I'll work.
That's Australian.
I'll go to work Christmas Day, but I got to take the draft day off for Christ's sakes. No, I don't work Christmas Day. I'm just kidding. But
New York Jets fan 4 is here just in time to try to win Deion Sanders. Get your friends on
New York Jets fan.
Call your friends and get them on the stream so you have a better chance of winning. Get your wives, your sister, your brother, your mom, your father. Tell them to get onto the stream and try to win for you so you get more chances to win. Deion Sanders. Neon Deion giveaway. That's right. I don't know what I'm going to do if Braden wins, man. I don't know how to send something to New Zealand.
Braden's going to donate it to somebody within the continental U.S.
No, there's got to be a way I can get it out there, man. I just have to go to the post office. How do I get something in New Zealand? The real question is it possible for him to send a frozen meat pie or 2 or 3 to me and keep it frozen? Like, can you do overnight from New Zealand? You put an extra stamp or 2 on it. That's how they would do it in Iowa. I don't understand. I wrote the address and I put 3 stamps on it. Again, I create an accent that doesn't really exist for Iowa. Actually, if I had to do an Iowan accent, I would do the closest thing I know, and that's like the Fargo thing. He was a funny-looking fella. Now I'm a Lloyd fan.
I knew it.
That primetime Andre Rosen fight was epic. Yeah, that was a great fight. FedEx. Oh, you could do FedEx International. That's true. Again with the shitty accent. It's gonna just go on forever. We're never gonna. Gonna it's never gonna end. I'll never be able to do an Iowan accent because it's like a TV show, Midwest accent, I guess. You know what I mean? It's like it's not an accent. It's like what you hear people. It's TV talk. Like he could be on a TV show. You know, everybody speaks perfectly without an accent. Oh baby, don't you know? Okay. So you like the way if I don't understand something, I just go right through it. All right. So here's how we're going to do this card. How do you want to do this, Dom?
Oh boy. You tell me what you need me to do. This is your giveaway.
You got paper and pen?
I do. Give me 1 second.
Okay, guys, don't go anywhere because we're about to give away a Deion Sanders. This makes me so happy. I hope one of my favorite people in the chat win. Need to get Jeremy and Dom at Harold's Deli and Edison. Oh, I've been to Harold's, man. Are you kidding me? What hotel is that? Which hotel is that? It's like at a hotel. My friends took me there, man. My friend lives in Staten Island. So sometimes we would do the drive out. Like I loved it. You go up to the bread bar, and get all the rye bread you want, and then you order the meat, and they give you those giant platters. I totally know Harold's, dude. That's delicious stuff, man. I love that place.
It's Harold's Deli in Parsippany?
Yeah. He's saying Edison.
Who asked that?
Edison, Deli in Edison, but I didn't know it was in Edison.
So
it's in a hotel. It's the bottom of a hotel, right?
Yes. That's the one in Parsippany. Harold's Deli was on the bottom of a Holiday Inn in Parsippany, New Jersey, where Green Bean and I both grew up. And they were known for their phenomenal. But unfortunately, that location, I don't know if there's others, but they closed down probably about 7-8 years ago.
Mm.
And it is now a Cuban restaurant called Cuba Libre.
Ah. Okay. So, 1 second. Let me answer a friend here. He's asking me a question. You can guess who I'm talking to.
Later, Anthony.
Anthony's leaving? No, I'm about to give something away. You don't care about Deion Sanders? Okay. So you got your pen and paper, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So write down a number between 1 and 50.
1 and 50.
Yep. Nobody guess yet. Nobody guess.
I'm good.
Okay. Now, what I want everyone to do, we're going to change it up. It's 1 through 50, and we're going to change this up. Everybody vote once. I'm going to check. If you vote twice, you're disqualified. Everybody votes once, a number between 1 and 50. And I'm going to give about 2 minutes from right now to get all of the guesses in. Remember, only vote once. If nobody guesses it, we're going to have another round of guessing. Now, if 2 people guess the same number, it goes to the person who guessed it. Sorry, I got the hiccups. Who guessed it first. Okay? So get your vote in now. Right now, 1 through 50. Okay. So now keep your eye on the chat. See if you see the number, okay?
I am looking. Nothing yet.
Okay. I'll tell them when they have to stop. Well, we can go to another. We'll guess. Don't worry. There's only another minute left, and you'll get to guess again if nobody gets it. I hope everybody's just guessing once. Mess, you've guessed twice. You're not allowed to do that. Don't do it again, please.
Eminon guessed twice too.
Come on, guys. Stop guessing twice. You're not allowed. If you get it, you ruin the game. Mess, you keep guessing. You're going to be disqualified, dude. Stop guessing. Okay, stop. Did anybody get it?
No.
Okay.
And it's still written on this paper.
Nobody got it. So here. Yeah, Mess gets like 14 times. I might have to disqualify him. Okay. So here we're going. Look, oh, sorry. Okay, we're going to do this again. Everybody gets one guess. And starting right now.
I will say I saw the number before and the number after, but I did not see the number.
No, we're not changing it. It's 1 through 50. And I'm waiting for him to come in. We only got a minute left. Okay, we got a 49, a guess of, here they are. 37, 41, 49, 7, 8, 1, 50, 41. Anything?
Nope.
Eminon gets 41 right after Iowa and Jets fan grab. Tom Bon Jovi 46. Dark Soldier 28. Okay, I'm going to say stop. Everybody stop guessing.
Still not picked.
Everybody stop guessing.
Never mind.
Okay. Was that it? Was it 24?
It is 24. Can you see it?
Okay, we have a winner.
Matthew Smith, dude.
Smith, you just won a rookie Deion Sanders card. Congratulations. You won it, buddy. Okay. So Matthew Smith, the way to collect is you could look me up at Jeremy Cravat 2 on Twitter. Okay. Let me put it on the banner. I'm going to put it on the banner so you can see how to spell my name. I assume that you're on Twitter. And then I'm going to say my email also. I've already given you that a million times. It doesn't matter anymore. Okay, scroll across the bottom. Save. Joe. So there on the bottom of the screen are the two ways you can get a hold of me and collect your prize, a Deion Sanders rookie card. I assume you're in the Long Island area. I will send it via mail. Remember, because we're at like 31, 32 people now. If you guys stay on and we get up to 50 people, we're going to be giving away an Ambassador Spock. The second this stream hits 50, I don't care when it is, the moment it happens, we are giving away Ambassador Spock action figure in the box in mint condition.
Ambassador Spock.
Dirt Jets fan, aka Walt.
Thank you, Mess. I appreciate it, man.
What do you say? Great show, Snacks. Thanks, man. I like to. I'm Snacks. Thank you guys.
That's not a bad nickname.
They're leaving because I already gave away the prize.
Thanks, John. We'll catch up this week, I'm sure.
Okay, so, Gerard almost had it. Wow, he knew it. Okay, he must have deducted all the other possibilities. So hope Matthew, are you going to be able to? I don't know if you're on Twitter or not, or email. I just want to make sure before I end this that you have it. Okay, Iowan's still here. Great show. Thanks, Nick. Appreciate it. People like the show. This is cool, man.
It's a lot of fun, man.
Thank you.
A lot of fun.
Appreciate it. We will definitely try to come up with a concept next week that you guys will like. I think it'll be more chat focused. It's just really hard, man. One day, I don't know how many subs I have to get to, but one day, that's part of the reason why I'm so obsessed with subs, because I think you get like these extra features. And when I have enough subs, I think I'm going to be able to do polls. And when I could do polls, it's going to make this so much easier, man. Like I could just poll the chat, and we don't have to have all these arguments and looking and counting. You know what I mean? It's just so easy. And we might be able to do polls. I haven't really tried yet. I have to like get YouTube opened, and I mean Green Bean figured it out, for God's sakes.
Smart man, Nat. Because once I said that, the next two votes I saw were number 1 and number 50. And I'm thinking to myself, these guys.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for subbing, Stanley. Hope you come back. Keep coming back. Enjoy. It was a pleasure having you. Glad you participated. And I give away lots of other things. I don't know if you like Star Trek and Star Wars. I give away a lot of action toys. I have basketball cards, baseball cards, football cards. I got a lot of extra stuff that I'm just giving away. So if you like collectibles, keep on tuning in. Anyway, I said 3, hoping he picked 3 because the Jets won the 3rd Super Bowl. So much for being a fan.
I picked 24. Why? Anybody?
Darrelle Revis?
Bingo.
They should have known that you love defensive backs.
That's right.
Good night, Tom Bon Jovi. Tom Bon Jovi. Good night.
We need NFL Chaos shirts. Say it louder. Say it louder for the guys in the back. We need Chaos shirts, man.
Oh, my God. Is it too soon, or you think I could just do it?
No, do it. Absolutely.
Man, it is kind of just like a generic kind of thing. Like if you look in that corner, just the bald guy holding the football, and it just says NFL Chaos.
It doesn't have to be that. You can do it however you want it, man.
Well, I mean, I eventually could have lots of different shirts, like one with the fire, like the one in the background. But then I could also do the folio picture, like of just me holding the football, and it just says NFL Chaos. There's lots of options. I mean, like, because everybody else builds it up. They start with one, and then you add, and you come up with good shows. You start to do it for the shows, right? Like Chaos, like we'll have a name for whatever show we do after this. We'll have a name for it. So maybe you do one for different shows, like Wacky Wednesday with Jeremy and Adam, and then We have the Adam thing with the Viking hat, the wig on and the hat. He loves that. He loves that look. I want a Jeremy doll where you pull the string and he says stuff in a New Zealand accent. What would be better is if I had one that said something in an Iowan accent that was totally off and not an Iowan accent. That's would be even funnier. But New Zealand. I used to, there's a lot of people that can come out with little dolls of themselves that would be very cute. Can you imagine like a Boy Green, Paul Esden, like a little stuffed Paul Esden doll? Or a big a Nick Shine doll where you squeeze it and it's just like, give me a slice of pizza. And then you could you could have a J. Cole stuffed puppet that when you squeeze it, it says, I'll make you chicken cutlets. Oh my God, we got people like threatening to wait in parking lots for each other now. Oh my God. Anybody, hey, by the way, if anybody's out there, I don't do this enough. Please follow me on @JeremyCravat2 on Twitter. If you are not already, and then I will follow you back, and then you could send me messages on Twitter at any time. So definitely follow me, or just text my address on Twitter. Do I just text my address on Twitter? No, follow me on Twitter if you haven't already, and just send, and then I'll follow you. Like send a message, like an @Jeremy @NFL Chaos with Jeremy message. Just send me a message if I'm not following you. And do the @Jeremy Cravat too, and say, or respond to one of my comments or something, and say, "Hey, it's me, Matthew," and then I will follow you, and then you're able to send me like a DM. You know what I mean, like a message, a private message, and in that private message, you could send me your address, or you could just email me, just say, "Hey, it's Matthew Smith here, jcravat@gmail.com," and give me your address and information. So.
Very well, man.
Yeah. So, I've been in Iowa and everyone sounded like Jeremy. That's gonna make Reed so happy. Oh, you tweeted. Okay, cool, man. We'll work it out, buddy. Okay, right. It's not like I'm going anywhere. You know how to find me, right, Matt? All right. Anything you want to say before we go, Dom? I know that you got a show coming up. Oh, wait. You're not going to go anywhere. Guys, stay. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. I got something very special for you. From Virginia.
Wait, hold on. Hold on. I still got you on here. Sorry. What's up? What do you guys do? What are you guys talking about? Who's fighting in your chat? People are fighting?
Well, we didn't.
No. I think he was quoting Happy Gilmore. If I read it properly.
Okay. I just came in. I saw Soldier saying something. He's going to meet somebody in the parking lot. I'm like, oh no!
It's like,
what the hell did Dom and Jeremy do here?
what are we up to?
It was a great show, and even better being a reference to Harold's Deli. And Parsippany was brought up.
I heard that place. Well, I didn't hear it. When I went to Parsippany a couple years ago, it was gone. Yeah, Harold's Deli. How does a place like that close?
It's now a Cuban restaurant, and it's terrible.
Dude, Harold's Deli. I took my girlfriend there one time, and I've been to delis in New York City. That's one thing. But in New Jersey, that far out, 30 minutes west, dude, the pancakes were this big. I mean, they brought them to the table and we laughed hysterically. I ordered corned beef hash. We ordered pancakes and corned beef hash. Dude, it had to be 5 pounds of corned beef. Like, we couldn't stop laughing. I was like, what the fuck are they doing in here? That place was the best.
Yeah.
Sandwiches as big as your head. Oh, how did that fail?
For 3 days. You could eat it for 3 days, man.
3 days. Oh, I miss it. I got to get some good deli action going, man. It's tough. It's tough. You don't realize when you're in the Northeast, you don't realize how good the delis are there. Like, even a good deli somewhere else, it's like you can go someplace, the corned beef is good, the bread, everything is good, but it's like little. There's these little. They're like New York Deli. It's little tiny sandwiches. Like Charlottesville has a couple of those, and I'm like, it's good, but I want to fucking cry, man. You like, go to New York, you're like, dude, those delis up there. People don't get it when they stay up there. Like they leave, and you know, if you leave, you realize everything sucks.
You know, Katz's Deli going online and sending the stuff frozen, vacuum packed, has changed our lives here because
Really?
you go right to Katz's Deli website. So they're shipping it from New Jersey. So I don't know if they have a warehouse there, but
I'm going right now. Wait, hold on.
Dude, you have to time it that it gets to you, you know, and you go and pick it up as soon as it's delivered because they send it frozen. You can put it right back in the freezer, or you just literally throw the package in boiling water for 7 minutes, and then take out that package and open it up, and you got Katz's pastrami.
I gotta be honest.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest. This might be a little shameful. Living in the Northeast, in New Jersey, New York area for all my life, I've never been to Katz's Deli.
Wow.
Oh, Katz's is no joke, dude.
Never been to Katz's Deli.
I've been to all of them, dude. Like Carnegie's not there anymore, right? That closed too.
No, that's gone. Carnegie's gone.
Well, how does Carnegie Deli go away?
I don't
Dude,
know.
Carnegie, that might be my favorite. I forget, what did I, you know, they had everything like named after actors and stuff or musicians, you know, famous people.
Yep.
Dude, yeah, I was just thinking, Gitmo Bob went to Katz's Deli the other day. That's good. There he is. What's up, Bob? Happy birthday again, buddy.
He ordered it from the website.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. See, I got to do that. I didn't even realize. I didn't catch that. But dude, the Carnegie Deli, I've been there like 5 times, man. Like, it's always packed. Like, how does it close? Does somebody just go, I'm done? Is that what it was? Did it fail? Does anyone know?
I don't think a place like that could fail.
It can't.
Somebody had to die or you know,
right.
They just got too old.
The guy died and the kids suck because he spoiled them and they couldn't run the place and they sold it for sold the building for pennies on the dollar because they're idiots and they just wanted something so can go fucking snort coke.
And Green Bean, they'll send you a rye bread. Like, so when you order, you can order the bread too. So you get the bread. They send pickles. They'll send you a container.
Oh, wait a minute. Or okay, wait. They don't send you the sandwich?
No, they send you in a vacuum packed package, frozen. They send you the meat. So what happens is this way you can drop that package into boiling water and you can pull it out, and then it comes out steaming hot, like the way it's supposed to. Because when you get it there,
I understand. Yeah. I'm not as happy about that. I'm sure it's great, but I wanted a sandwich.
Yeah, but you just they send you the bread and then you just make the sandwich, you idiot.
Did they give me their mustard and everything? You got to have the mustard.
Yes, they send the mustard. They do everything. I'm telling you.
All right. I'm sure it's good. Let me tell you something, and I'm going to say this seriously. I'll put my wife's corned beef up against anybody's.
Yeah. Well, you know, if you know how to make a good corned beef.
Yeah, my wife is a slamming corned beef maker.
So we don't have it enough. There's this restaurant near us that when the pandemic first started, it's literally walking distance. It's they call it the Pizza Pub. That's the name of it. And when the pandemic started and no one knew anything what was going on, you can only get takeout or so on and so forth. On St. Patrick's Day, my wife said, let's shot in the dark. Let's see if they had corned beef. We ordered corned beef dinner from there, and it was fabulous. And we've done it every year since then. And this year, I was so disappointed. It was so bad. I've never been a huge corned beef fan. But they got those first 2 years, man. I couldn't wait for St. Patrick's
Exciting.
Day. Oh,
see,
man.
Now let me ask you guys though. So you don't like corned beef generally, but do you like pastrami? So if you go to a deli, is it pastrami for you?
Yeah, it's pastrami.
I'm corned beef. I love pastrami, but if like every time I go to a good deli, I do this thing. I go, you know what? I'm gonna get pastrami. I'm gonna get corned beef, and I always 9 out of every 10 times go corned beef. And they're like, "You want this? I'm like, no, I want corned beef on rye with mustard. I don't want any games. I don't want fucking coleslaw, lettuce. Don't stick nothing on there. I want it to be this big meat. You know what I mean? I want to not be able to eat it, but I love pastrami. But you know, like I got to tell you, I don't like them together. Not that I don't like them. I don't, you know what I mean? I'll eat it. It's great. But as far as like when I get pastrami and corned beef together, I'm always like, I shouldn't have done that. And I end up separating and shit.
See,
Like I become a snob. I don't know what happened.
Me and Jocelyn always get, one of us get the pastrami, one of us get the corned beef, right? And we take half our sandwiches and trade. So we each have half a corned beef, half a pastrami.
I see.
Can't go wrong with that.
There's a great deli in Baltimore called Addison's or something like that. That's the one the other night I was talking to Gitmo Bob and I said, "Oh, Katz's Deli in Baltimore." That I don't know why in my brain I saw the sign and everything. It said Katz and I was dead wrong. But I think it's Addison's. It's fantastic. Not as good though. Not as good, but it's good. It's the real deal. Now here. There's some good sandwich shops, but again, dude, it's just, you got to know. You got to just know. Like, don't walk in there thinking New York because it's not it. It's just you can't get anything outside. New Jersey's the closest. And then there's some Connecticut stuff, obviously, but it's all the same place, you know?
Yeah. It's just, it's never the same. Like, you know, like, and people will say like, "Oh, this place is really good. You should try it. You're from New York," and then you go, and it's like, "Well, it's the best in this area, and I'll live with it." But it's not as good as. Like,
You end up getting pizza. You end up getting spaghetti in a bucket.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Oh man, I collected all the material too. I got to make something with that. That was. Let me just say this. Did I tell you guys how it was? Did you hear yet? Did I tell you how the spaghetti bucket was?
You said the pasta was good, but the sauce.
Yeah, the sauce. You know what? I was disappointed because I found out that they don't make their own sauce. Like they get it. It's like by a mass producer. I'm like, dude, you're blowing it. Like, what are you doing? Like, you got to make your sauce.
Right.
Even if it's across all the stores and like, you got to get your own recipe. You know what I mean? I don't know. That was disappointing. And it tasted like it. It was like just a jar. But you know, fucking people in Arizona, they don't know. They think it's great. Like Iowa just said, so I'm gathering Jimmy John's isn't as good as I thought. It's like exactly right. Anybody, let me tell you this, and I'm going to offend people right now, and I just don't care. Anybody who goes to like Jimmy John's or Jersey Mike's or any of those shitty fucking delis when there's an actual deli around, should be punched in the face. That's how I feel about it. Those places are garbage. Garbage. Now, if it's the only sandwich around, I love subs, so I'll do it. But dude, I hate when people tell me, "Oh, I love Jersey Mike's." I'm like, you're an idiot.
I think the worst place in the world though is Quiznos. Like any place
Quiznos is closed. It's done.
The places that heat up the sandwiches, man. Because to me, that always meant, oh, it's not good. That's why you have to run it through an oven, right? Because it's not
really
good. Like if something tastes good, like in New York, when you go and you get a great sandwich.
But I think it's apples and oranges, Jeremy. That's a whole different. I went to college in Philadelphia, and that was a big thing. The grinders down there, they called them. They take
but you don't get an Italian
tub and they warm it up, and I'm like, I don't want my mayonnaise and my tomatoes hot. I just don't.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm with you, right? But that's just us. But like you said, Dom, there are people that's the way they like it. Like that's what they want. Yeah. And Quiznos was good because it was a thing, right? It was toasty and the bread had a crunch to it. But the thing is, right? You got to have you can't just have like a regular sub hot, like you said, like there's tomatoes and lettuce, and that's supposed to be fucking cold and crisp.
Well, certain cold cuts like ham and turkey, you're not supposed to heat that up. Like I'm okay.
Well, ham and turkey are served hot. Why not?
I know, but like once it's sliced, like you know.
Once it's sliced, that's it. Once you slice it, if it has heat when you slice it, it can still have the heat. But once that heat leaves, no heat can be reintroduced to the slice.
True. It's really true.
Oh, that's great. That's fantastic. So what are you guys doing, man? I'm actually, is it done downloading? I'm just fucking doing this. Oh, it's still, I cannot. All right. So I drove 2,136 miles from Tuesday morning to today, right? So I just drove across. And then when I got here today, we had to set up and everything. And then I wrote and recorded my podcast, and I just finished editing. And then I just literally just finished, and I just checked if you guys were still live. So I've been going.
We had a fun time tonight. Good show. Jeremy came up with a killer idea. What we've been doing is, we've been going back and forth doing this duel and mock thing. And Jeremy said, you know what? Why don't we both make our picks, make our pitch for the picks at the position, and then we let the chat decide whether they like Jeremy's side or Dom's side. So it was really good. It was a lot of good information, very interactive.
Who won?
The chat was on point. I don't know if there was a who won.
We both won different arguments. Like they voted for me sometimes, and sometimes they voted for Dom. And sometimes we agreed, and when we agree, the chat doesn't vote at all. So if you had a guest on your Monday night, you take turns who goes first. You give your argument of what you would do. You both say what you would do. If it's the same, you do it. If it's not the same, you let the chat vote on Green Bean or your guest. That's how you would do it.
So we both chose Kevin Thibodeau at 4, so that was the pick. Right. And then at 10, Jeremy pitched Garrett Wilson. I pitched Nakobi Dean. The chat went Garrett Wilson, so Garrett Wilson was the pick, and then so on and so forth.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I like that.
So
that's good.
You're gonna hate this draft, Green Bean. Well, you're not gonna hate all of it, but you're gonna hate.
I know you guys like to put me in categories. You guys don't fucking know me.
No, I say you hate it because you don't want to take a wide receiver at 1. So
yeah, but that's the guy I would probably take if we did at 1. You mean in the first, right?
In the first.
Yeah, I'd prefer not to. But if they took Garrett Wilson and or Treylon Burks, I'd be ecstatic. I just don't think we have to.
Right. Yeah. And that's a lot of people feel that way.
Yeah.
And so here's Thibodeau, Wilson, Jaquan Brisker.
So wait, who was the Wilson was Dom?
Wilson was,
that was me.
Jeremy.
Okay. Got it.
I argued because I was like, I get in different moods. And today I was in the mood of, I don't want to miss on wide receiver. Like all the other guys, I love them all, but also have a fear about every one of them.
You want to know why? You want to know why you feel that way today?
Why?
Because Jet's Twitter is berserk about wide receiver today.
Oh my God! Until we started the show, the whole Robert Woods thing, it threw me completely for a loop, man. He's a good player.
Yeah, he's fun, right?
31 years old, owed a ton of money for coming off of an ACL injury.
I know, it's crazy. The only thing is because it was his 6th next year, so the compensation was low. You always got to ask yourself, why they've had that guy for years. Why did they bring in Allen Robinson and sell him off for pennies? Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. And Robinson's not that much. I mean, you could if Robinson was 25, I'd say okay, it's time to rinse and repeat, But Robinson's 29, Robert Woods is 30, so the age thing isn't that much. I mean, maybe you're right. Maybe they're looking for something different, or they know something that we don't.
What they're saying with this message is we don't want to pay him $14 million. He's not worth $14 million. Now, Allen Robinson to us is. So, you know what I mean? It's just like, and I'm not saying that they're hiding, a bum engine, you know what I mean? Or something like that, that nefarious, but there's a reason. They didn't want to pay him the $14 million, and they certainly didn't want to pay him. It goes up every year. It goes all the way up to 18 in 3 years. So people are saying, yeah, but it's not guaranteed. You can get rid of him. I'm like, then why bring him? If the plan is to get rid of him, what the hell are we talking about? Like, we have Zach Wilson. We have this young guy. He had one really rough rookie year as far as the system, the offensive line, the wide receivers, the injuries, just learning everything. It was a difficult and tumultuous rookie year. What we want to do for this guy, to the best of our ability, is give him consistency and continuity. You want to bring in a 30-year-old wide receiver that next year is going to be too expensive and then you can cut him, like then we have to start now do this again next year. The best thing to do is he and Elijah Moore are rookies together. Now they're second-year players together. You have a vet in Corey Davis. You have Denzel Mims who's going into his third year, whatever that is. And then you have Braxton Berrios as wide receiver 4, maybe even 3 if they like him. And he's developing something with Zach Wilson. And you bring in a young guy and you keep this band together for 4 to 5 years. That's what you do. And people are going nuts. And dude, I got into some shit with people today. They're trying to tell me that, if we don't grab a wide receiver at 10, it's a fail. I said, do you realize Garrett Wilson would be wide receiver 5 in last year's draft? And I like Garrett Wilson. There's an argument to be made that he'd be wide receiver 4, but that's still wide receiver 4. Wide receiver 4 doesn't get taken at 10 overall. It's not a top 10 pick. He's only top 10 this year because the class is weak as far as, star power and all that kind of shit.
Yeah, the top of the draft, exactly. It's a little bit weaker.
Yeah, it's a good class. It's like they're very good, but they're all kind of tight together, and you can get value. I mean, there are other positions that you're not going to be able to get top 10 players in after the top 10. So anyway, but yeah, that's why, Jeremy, because Jet's Twitter is out of its damn mind. So is Jet Nation. Same shit. They're crazy over there.
It is out of control. So we went.
So they got you. They got you, Jeremy.
They got me. Well, like I say, I go day to day. I mean, but I'm like you. If they were to really take Garrett Wilson, I'm fine. If they don't, and they trade back, that's my one of my favorite scenarios is trading back and just grabbing Nakobi Dean. So, and getting
you like Dean over Lloyd, huh?
Well, Lloyd's going to be like 30 by the time he plays an NFL snap. So,
how old is Devin Lloyd? How old is he?
24. 24 now. He'll be 25 in the season.
Oh yeah,
that's kind of a bummer.
That's a thing. Still only 25, but it makes sense, So all right, what else we got? What Jaquan Brisker here? Who was that? That was Dom. Yeah, that was Dom.
I like him too. I've taken him in drafts.
Yeah.
Perrion Winfrey, that was me.
That was combo. I think we both agreed.
We both agreed on that. We
fucking weak.
Brandon Smith was not me. Damian Pierce was me.
He knew
Damian Pierce.
He knew that.
Yeah, he likes Damian Pierce.
I wanted a tight end, by the way. I wanted Jeremy Ferguson in that pick. I mean, Jake Ferguson.
With 111?
111, yeah.
Yeah. Wait, so Jeremy, Brandon Smith was you?
Brandon Smith was not even close because I went Daniel Falele at 69. That was my suggestion, and the chat wanted me off the channel.
Yeah, they're like, you know what? That's it. Yeah. But it's funny, Dom, because up until very recently, every mock that I did, the chat wanted Falele.
But listen, here's what I said, Bean. Here's what I said. I said, listen, I know what everyone think. He's not a guy that's going to come in and produce right now. He's not. He's still got a lot of learning. He's a lot of raw. He's big. He's strong. We need another. I think it's suffice to say that we need to bring in another offensive lineman, whether it's a young guy. We need that swing tackle of the future. Plus, Fant's still not re-signed. Fant's playing on this contract, and that's it. If we resign him, it makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
And I know that the guy has he went from way up here and everyone soured on him, and I understand, but like I said, that was my choice at that spot. We could have went a bunch of different ways. Brandon Smith was that's what everyone likes. Everyone wanted a linebacker. Okay.
Well, when are we doing linebackers in the Patreon for the beanbaggers?
Well, this week is not a on week, right? Because we're doing a game. It's the last week.
Is it the last week already?
It is. And then I'm away next week.
Right. And then next week. So. Yeah. Uh-huh.
So I have the article done. I'll send it up to you. And then the linebackers are the next one. Linebackers and edge. That's all we got left.
So we're breaking down linebackers in 2 weeks then.
Correct.
2 weeks. Okay, that's awesome. All right, so I can't wait to see what you got for the linebackers. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
All right. So who was Cade Mays?
Oh,
That was me.
Yeah, I like Cade Mays.
Versatile, good, strong guy.
Yeah, I like him. I do.
Jilani Woods was Jeremy.
Jilani Woods, right on. Now, look, you're talking about pick 146, and you can grab Jilani Woods because there's no pressure for him to come in and be an impact. You're not looking for pick 146 to come in and be a starter or anything. I think that's a really good group for him to be with. You know what I mean?
Yeah. My question or my argument, for lack of better, just for conversation, was, okay, Jilani Woods comes in. What are we doing with Kenny Yeboah? We know we have two guys here, and I know Uzama is 28, 29 years old. So, he's not going to be here super long term. But does that mean Jilani Woods takes over the tight end 3 and is he the roster spot for Kenny Yeboah? Because I can't see us carrying 4 tight ends.
I can, though. If we're running 12 personnel, I mean, we carried 4 last year.
absolutely.
And we weren't, and that's because we wanted to run 12. And when we realized we couldn't, then there were some injuries and all that too. But so then they kept 3. But I could see us keeping 4. You know what's going to be really funny for Jets fans is when they commit even more so to the 12 and they use a second or third round pick on a tight end and keep Kenny Yeboah. And then the focus on wide receiver isn't there. Like, we already got our wide receiver. We got, Elijah Moore, Davis, Mims, Berrios, Smith. We're good because we're going to be in 12, 60% of the time. That's going to be funny. I'm going to laugh my balls off at all the Jets fans.
I think that same argument, that same argument can be made if you don't see them move quick and strong. Even though I pushed for Nakobi Dean at 10 here, I could see that same argument that Bean just talked about being made if they don't address linebackers, by them saying, listen, we want to fix the front. We want to fix the defensive line. We put some defensive tackles in there. We get some more edge pressure. It's going to get some bodies off of our linebackers and allow them to make the plays.
Right.
They took the brunt of it last year, but I don't know if it was necessarily all the linebackers' fault. I mean, I don't know much more Mosley could have done himself on the field. You know what I mean?
Dude, he was truly sideline to sideline, and he's not supposed to have to be. You know what I mean? Yeah. He was everywhere. And, he made a bunch of tackles. There was a couple of flubs, but generally he was very strong. But, look, if they really want to give Sherwood and Nasruddin, they really want to give them the chance. And we have obviously Quincy Williams there as well. Maybe they don't key on linebacker, and maybe they fix everything else, like what you're saying, like really focus on the defensive line, get an edge, get a Perion Winfrey defensive tackle, get another edge in the 4th or something like that, and bring in some safety help and all that kind of stuff. Maybe they do that, man, and they just leave the corners and they leave the linebackers. I mean, I don't think that's what they're going to do, but let me tell you, man, I don't think I'd be surprised. That's the thing. I'm finding it really difficult to be upset with many scenarios this year. You know what I mean? Yeah, like, people say that, like Jeremy said, he said, oh, Bean's going to be pissed. And it's like, you know what? I can really quickly get into that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's weird.
I've said it. It's been my MO since we've started all this. You can go 10 different ways, and I get it, and I can get behind it. You want wide receiver at 10? I understand it. I can get behind it. You want Hamilton at 4? I can get behind it. You want Perion Winfrey at 10? Maybe not, but
right. Well, that's the thing. I have to say that, I mean, obviously we don't want special teams guys up in the front half of the draft. That's one thing. But I really think the only thing that would upset me a little bit is if they went D tackle in the first.
So have you heard all that chirping about Jordan Davis?
Yeah, I hear chirping. What's the new chirping? Maybe I missed something.
Listen, I saw a mock in, I think it was on PFF. One of the content providers on PFF had us taking him at 10, going Evan Neal at 4 and Jordan Davis at 10.
Yeah, because that's what we're going to do. PFF is learning. PFF learned that if you say ridiculous things about the Jets,
Oh yeah.
you make another 17% on your your profits or whatever.
We're such an emotional group. Oh,
Dude.
Green, by the way, Green Bean, I don't know if it costs you anything, like, or if it could be done simply. And I'll give you the rights if you want to. We'll send the logos.
I want it. I don't know what it is. I want the rights.
If you want to add my merchandise to your site, you could keep all the proceeds. I don't care. They want a NFL Chaos or Jeremy.
We want Jeremy's head on a shirt. That's what we want.
They want an NFL Chaos.
Yeah.
So,
okay, we'll work that out. Yeah, we'll work that out.
You can have
problem.
all the money from it if you want to just do it because you already got it set up.
Dom, you want a shirt? You want to make a shirt for yourself?
No.
What are we going to call it? Bombs with Dom. Dom's bombs. Yeah, that's fine. We'll talk about it.
It'll be funny to see how many people bought it. It would be interesting.
Yeah, I'm not going to make any decisions tonight. I have to see and everything, but yeah, I think that's probably fine. My wife is the boss, bro. If I'm going to be real honest.
Look at Emma.
She's the manager.
A Jeremy bobblehead. That's it.
I don't know.
We're looking at one. We have one. We have a Jeremy bobblehead.
I offer green.
I love it.
Wait, because there's no, like, I basically say keep the money. Like, what could be better?
It's the saddest thing. It's the saddest thing. In the office when I ran a treatment center called Pathway to Hope, our initial staff, the owner who the woman who was the owner, she got bobbleheads made of all the original staff from our website photos. And I had mine in my office for years, and it was great. People would walk in. I mean, it was such a great conversation piece. I have no idea what happened to it. I just don't know. Sad. I had a bobblehead, dude.
Was it pre-beard or post-beard?
It was pre-white beard.
Ah.
So I still had and I didn't have this. I mean, I kept a tight beard for most of the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let me see. I'll show you right now. Let me see. Let me see if pictures are still out there. I think they are. You guys want to see?
How are you going to share it?
I can share, right? Can I?
Can I make you a share?
I think I can just share it.
We're in my thing, dude, not yours.
Yeah, but I think I can just share it still. Okay. Right?
I don't know. It'd be great if you can. I didn't know that you had that I could. I mean, I thought I'd have to give you some admin rights or something. I would love it if I could, if I learned how to do that.
Yeah, I don't see it. Let me see something here, right? You want to see me without a beard? You want to know a funny story? I had a beard obviously forever, and then I decide once a year I would shave my beard, and I forgot it was company picture day the next day. So I shaved my beard, and then I took these damn company pictures. Let me see if I can share. Where is this? Share screen. Yeah, hold on, Jeremy.
Oh, that's amazing. I had no idea you could do it.
Wait, I think I can. Hold on. Here, guys, you're gonna fucking freak out. Can you see it?
Oh, I can select it and add it to stream. Okay.
See it? Wait, all right. Did you do it?
Yeah, there we go.
Sorry, hold on.
That's so cool. I had no idea we could do this. It's awesome.
What the hell's going on? So anyway, I'm right here. You see this? Can you see it over here?
Oh yeah.
That's me.
That's old school Bean.
That's
the Bean that's scarred in the back of my head.
That's pre-comedian.
Right? No, this is not that long ago, guys. This is like 3 years, 4 years ago.
Really?
Yeah. That's what I look like under here.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's the one that's scarred on my head. No clean shaven, clean cut.
Holy shit.
Yeah, what is all this? Yeah, these are all my staff. This was my clinical director. This is my buddy Steve Gibb. That's his family. Anyway, we can stop doing that now. But now I'm going down a wormhole. So sorry. Yeah. So anyway, what are you guys doing tonight?
Well, we're done. I'm gonna go to bed late, in about an hour and a half. But
Wow, it's 12. I'm on Eastern time zone again. That was weird, dude. Let me tell you, traveling like that and trying to do shit. I never knew what time anything. I was like, I kept my computer on Eastern time and I thought that would help. And it did. But a lot of the time I would freak out and think I thought I was late. Like all the time. Like, oh my God, I'm late. It was just a mess. I'm happy to be on the East Coast. I'm tired, man. My trip, 2 years. The road trip is over. Road trip is over.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Crazy.
Awesome. The contacts didn't work. I couldn't see the screen. I had to rip it out and put my glasses back on. I was trying to do contact lenses. The guy was doing an experiment. Like, if we do one contact lens in this eye, this is the stronger eye, it'll balance, and it didn't work. But dude, it's like you're back on the campgrounds that you're normally on right now?
I'm at a friend's house.
Oh, okay. So you didn't put the RV in back in the camp?
Well, what we're gonna do, probably. I mean, look, it's early, right? I just got here today, so there's like a lot to do. But more than likely, like I'm very intense. I don't know if you guys have picked that up at all, but like I'm like my wife and I are like no joke. Like we'll dabble with decisions, and then once we decide to do something, it's like
boom.
Like, yeah, I mean, we had a conversation on the porch of my house, and I told my wife, I said, look, I'm disenchanted with life right now. I want to do this or that. And she said, well, best case scenario, what do you want to do? I said, I would sell everything we own and fucking go ride roller coasters with you and the kids. 2 months later, we were in an RV. Amazing. 2 months. 2 months. That's all it took from that conversation.
That's some gumption right there, man.
Yeah. So now we're like already looking at houses and shit, you know. I want to keep the RV if I can. This will be my studio. You know what I mean? Like where on the side of the house, and I just keep it plugged in and hooked up. This is where I'll have everything finally set up, so I don't have to tear everything down between shows. You don't know how tiring that gets. Let me tell you.
Wow.
You know?
I'm sure.
Because this is the living. This is it. I have one room. I mean, my kid's room is there. My room's there. But this is the kitchen, the living room. And then I got all this shit set up. So if we're going to eat breakfast, you know what I mean? So I liked your mock a little bit. Who was at the end? I didn't see the end. I don't think.
Jacoby Maclean.
He's a new Rusty's Diamond.
Is he? What position?
Linebacker from Auburn.
He's an edge linebacker.
Oh, right on. No, yeah, I'm aware. Right. Okay.
He's good. He's got very explosive player. He's like,
who wanted him? Dom or German? That was a German.
Put him up.
We both agreed.
We both agreed. Yes. I put him up, and Jeremy said, "Yes, that's the one."
Yeah.
Nice.
He's fun to watch tape on. Like you watch the tape, he's a fun guy to watch.
Yeah. So as far as the format, that's the way you guys are doing it now. You think like moving forward, you'll kind of do it that way.
That was just an idea for this week. We're going to change it.
I like it.
Yeah, we're just going to change it up each week. It's just a new idea. Feel free to take it if you want to do it as one of your things.
No, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying at all.
We flip it around. Like that was just this week's format. You know, we'll just do a different one.
Yeah, I think that was a good one. I liked it. It sounds fun.
It worked out very well. Were
you doing polls?
What do you think? Jeremy's not. He's not at green bean status. He can't do a poll yet.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing, Dom. I'm like, well, you guys doing polls yet?
I don't know if I have the subs to do it. I think it's you got to get to 1,000 kind of thing.
Oh, really? See, I don't think like that anymore. It's funny when you get to the, when you're trying to build a YouTube channel, you got to get 1,000 subs and 4,000 watch hours, and it seems insurmountable. Really? You're doing these, you do these little videos, 5-minute videos, and you get 500 views, and it's like 6 hours. You know what I mean? You're like, Jesus, dude. This month, the last 28 days, I got like 26,000 watch hours. Oh, it's like you just get out, new level, new devil. It's like now I'm looking at 10,000 subs. I want this, I want that. It's like you know how it goes, but. It's just funny when you're starting. It's like literally from zero with YouTube. It's not easy, man. You get perseverance in the beginning. You got to keep going. It's like it how many times you just feel like going, this isn't working. You know what I mean? Come on, what am I doing here?
I think you guys have made it a little bit easier for me. You mostly, but like Ryan and Matt, like just the support, like and saying it out, and like it's definitely made it easier because as bad as I think it is, like I feel bad complaining when I say, "Oh, it's a grind." I hear from people that they have theirs for like 2 years, 2.5 years, and they still have 150 subs. So I hear like much worse. People have it much harder as far as like getting it started and having people in their stream and all that stuff. But still, man, if my counter to that is, yeah, but when your friends are doing it and you're on people's streams and you're seeing how much success they're having, it's hard, like it's hard to like, because you want to be that size, you want to get to that place. It seems like a long road.
It is. And like when I first started doing this, like with the Jets panel and everything, talking Jets, I was only Jet Nation. I didn't have my own channel. You know what I mean? So I was doing Jet Nation. And I remember Matt had like 2,500 subs, maybe less, maybe 2,300, something like that when we first started. Ryan was in the 6,000 kind of a thing, 6,000. And I remember Jet Nation had like 2. And I was like, okay, well, I can hang with these guys. You know what I mean? Like, I'm all right. And Gangrene David had 3,000. But I remember that, man. I was thinking like, okay, like at least I got Jet Nation, so I have some credibility here. You know what I mean? Like I was just like, what am I doing here? These guys, I thought 2 and 5 were huge. You know what I mean? And this was just a couple, year and 2 years ago. I thought they were massive. Yeah. And now Ryan's at like, he's on just under 20. O'Leary's at 12.
Wow. It's crazy. He's at 19,000 something.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy.
And it's exponential. You know what I mean? Like every time you get to a new tier, like YouTube will expose you to more people. So therefore it's like, it's all exponential. Like you growth, like getting to here isn't just getting to here. Like that plateau is important and that means something. But once you reach it, then YouTube does stuff and gets you to the next plateau and it all starts to speed up. Like I just did the whole 5,000 contest and all that jazz.
Yeah.
And I'm cruising to 6.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I noticed that with Jets today. John's site, he hit 1,000. It seems like a few months ago. He fought and grinded to get to 1,000, and now he's already pushing 2,000. Like it just happens so fast.
Yeah. So that's the thing. It's just about having fun, man. Like the good news was that we like this. I don't look at this as work. I put more fucking hours into this. I just spent 4 hours editing this damn podcast that now granted I'm half awake. Like I'm not working on, full energy here, but at the same time, it's like, I don't even look at it as work, So that's the cool thing about this stuff. I love these. I love our chats and everybody in there. I think these guys are amazing, man. I love talking to you. Like even right now, it's fucking midnight. I'm just popping into, I don't even know what we're doing.
Yeah.
Hanging out.
Yeah. No, I feel the same way. Like, that's how I make myself feel. Like at the end of the day, I just say to myself, I say it to everybody in the stream. I'm like, even if I never got another sub or never got anybody more in the stream, I'm having an amazing time. I wouldn't stop. Like I want to get more people and I want to get more subs, but I'm at the point where I'm beyond the point where I'd ever stop, because as long as I'm loving it like this, because it's like it could be like this forever and I still love it. So why would I stop? It doesn't make any sense.
The connections that you make with with the guys and the guys in the chat, the guys that you'll never meet, but you kind of feel like you know what I mean?
Right.
You feel like they're family. You can hop on any of these shows and you see Adam and you see Iowa and you see Matthew Smith and you see all this mess. We see all these guys here and it's like, oh, my brothers are here. These brothers, totally. I never fucking met them, but they're of like mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
we're
totally.
Cut from the same cloth, and that there's something to that. There's something genuine. That's why I love it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. Well, you said it perfectly. I mean, the first couple years with Matt and Ryan, like I never met them, and I was with them every week for years. Yeah. And like I met O'Leary at the Coney Island Cyclone event that I did. That's the first time we met. I met Ryan that same week. Me and him met for dinner. It's like, I've never met Jeremy, never. I don't know fucking Jeremy from shit. Jeremy could have no legs. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Jeremy the actor?
Yeah. Right? He could have no legs for all I know. We could meet him. He could wheel up in a wheelchair. And I'm like, holy shit. I wouldn't know. Do you know? I don't know. Not that there's anything wrong, of course. You know what I'm saying.
Well, I'm like, it's, unless something crazy in the world happened again, I'm gonna be on the East Coast in the Southeast for 2 weeks. So in the summer, so
I'll be here.
Finally end the mystery.
I'll be here. You know what? I'll tell you a short little thing. So we came back here and we're staying at my daughter's best friend's house. Right. So that's like, they're our friends, but it just so happens that my daughter and their daughter are best friends. We pulled up today and the girl was outside, like waiting for my daughter. You know what I mean? And my daughter wanted she wanted me to park a little bit away so she could run up and surprise her. And just seeing them, we pulled up and they went together and they've been together all day. And that's, as remorseful in some respects as I am, like the coaster tour's over, at least this phase of it. I saw that. I'm like, yeah. You know what I mean? Like my daughter, 2 years she was out there with me, Yeah.
Wow.
So it's cool, man. That's the thing. So Virginia's home. I'm going to live here. I already got a job offer and shit. I'm going to go teach homeschool kids how to make YouTube channels. I shit you not.
Wow.
Homeschool is awesome. Do anything.
That's really cool.
Homeschoolers are great, dude. Like they make anything into a class. It's like they had a whole class. That game Magic the Gathering? It's like a card game like Dungeons and Dragons. There was a whole class. These kids would do it for years. And it was like all about critical thinking and strategy and like all that. Like they made the game into a class. These kids ate it up. They loved it. And they were being taught. It's like there's a whole class. I love this, this opportunity. So yeah, they asked me, they said, dude, if you, we'd love it if you could teach a class. I was like, sure.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll teach the kids. Why not?
I can't believe how intense you guys are. Like you made this decision. You already have a job lined up. You went from Sonoma, Arizona. You were there, 3 days ago?
Tuesday morning I left.
That's insane, dude.
Yeah.
That's insane that you got.
I know.
I mean, it's pretty intense. It's me and my wife are similar. I mean, we decided literally in February of 2016 in Sacramento with our friends on vacation, visiting our friends here. We're going to move here. And August 2016, we're in Sacramento. Right.
That's the way.
We both had jobs by the time we got here.
That's the way.
I wish I could say I understood it. I'm married to someone who still hasn't chosen the blinds that she wants, so I got no blinds on the back of my house. We've been, we did the renovation 10 years ago.
I love it. I love it, man. That's fantastic. Hey, man, it is what it is. Like people are just different, You know what's going to happen to me? I'll be 50 years old this year, Dom. Right? I'll be 50 years old. I've known you since we were kids, little kids. And I'm living this life and kind of doing everything balls to the wall. And in about 5 years, I'm going to fucking die. That's the way it is. You know what I mean? It's the way it is. I'm cool with it.
Listen, and when that time comes, at least you can sleep well, knowing that you went balls to the wall and you lived.
That's it.
Dude. You know what I mean?
Want me food?
That's it, Dom. That's it.
Just saying, Jeremy must be starving.
I forgot that they don't give rights. Careful, there's liquid in there.
Okay, thanks.
I forgot.
Jared, it's snack break here.
I got food. Thank you.
What's Jocelyn bringing tonight?
It looks like General So chicken.
I know. It's like he doesn't eat little snacks. He eats like a full meal.
Cats?
And some tofu.
No pastrami from cats, Jocelyn? What the hell?
Okay, thanks.
Right?
She forgot that the Chinese restaurants out here don't include rice unless you specifically order rice. Because in New York, it's like automatic. You order a main dish, you get rice, right?
Yeah, sure.
So Jess Mess just gave me an idea for a second shirt already.
What is it?
Like NFL Cast with Jeremy. Everybody loves snacks. Because that's his like other nickname for me.
Everybody loves snacks. My heater went on. I all of a sudden can't hear you.
Yeah, Jets Mess calls me snacks. But is that a whole thing? Like everybody loves snacks, and it has a hidden meaning. So NFL cast,
I like it.
Everyone likes snacks.
Remember in Family Guy, you know that like there's a character in Family Guy. He's like a middle-aged gay guy, and he's real soft-spoken like this. You know that guy?
Mm-hmm.
And he was leading a class one time, and he goes, and we have some Oreos because everyone loves a snack. You remember that? Everyone loves a snack. Yeah.
He's renaming me now. I'm telling you, he's renaming me.
Let me see. I didn't realize, guys, I was in the chat. I didn't even realize it. I had one of my other accounts up. I was writing to you guys under Metascapes. So, and then I'm like responding to you guys, and I'm like, oh shit, they don't know who the hell I am. I'm just some weirdo talking to them. Like, who's this? I don't recognize this Metascapes.
I thought it looked familiar though.
Well, I subscribed to you. Well, the other night, I think you might have, I don't remember what show it was, Jeremy, but I just bombarded you with all my channels. I was like writing a comment with every channel I had.
I remember that. I was like, how do you spin in and out of your accounts that quickly? I was like, that's got to teach me that.
Oh, it's easy. Yeah, I'll show you. I'll teach you. Come to my class, and I'll teach you how to do
it. You do virtual homeschool?
No, this is in person. Maybe it is some virtual. I guess it might be some, but they still meet, I think. You know what? I don't know. That's a great question, Dom. I assumed. I just assumed. I don't want to do virtual teaching. Maybe I do it. Maybe that's even better.
You don't have to wear pants.
That's just what I was going to say. I could be fucking pantsless.
I wouldn't tell the kids that.
No. You know what? I would feel so rotten inside if I was teaching children with no pants on. My own kids is one thing. But, I would just feel like I don't know. I'm real. Dom, you know what I'm talking about. Like I'm real. I'm always working on that shit.
That's right.
So I don't know. I'd be like, I'm dishonest. I'd have to talk about it at night. Write about it and shit. So it's funny. I was actually going to go live tonight, but I didn't because of you guys.
Oh man. Look at that. If that's not a compliment, I don't know what is, dude.
That is a compliment.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it is. Now, I don't know if that'll happen every week. What is your show?
That'll happen every
week. Like, what time is your show regularly?
This show starts at 9 p.m. Eastern on Sunday.
9 to what?
Usually 9 to 11.
It's tough. I'm going to have to go 9 to 11 as well, guys.
On Sundays?
No, maybe I do you know what? I'll make it sure. I'll do an 8 to 9 on Sundays. What do you think? I'll promote your show.
Sounds good.
Listen, you do whatever you have to do.
No, we got to work together, man.
Yeah,
we got to work together. Ryan went live on my show. I still haven't talked to him. I have to talk to him about that. You're like, dude, and he fucking had Joe Blewett on, like a whole thing. It crushed me. And of course, Ryan's gonna crush me, dude. Can't do that. I noticed it. I noticed it in the chat. I noticed my numbers go boop, 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 boop. I'm like, what's happening? Somebody said I was in Ryan's stream. I'm like, there it is.
I navigate around people. Right. So if you're gonna do a Sunday night show, I'll navigate around it with you. Like just like work it out.
No, but I'll navigate around you. I want to do this Sunday night gripe, right? And I just want it to be like a touch up. So I'm thinking like 45 minutes, like one of those. I don't want to do another 2-hour show, so I can do a lead in for you guys.
Love it.
You know what I mean? That's the way I like to work. You know what I mean? Like I don't look at everybody as competition. I don't. Like there's no reason for us to compete with one another. You know, it's like it's all the same community. We have a lot of supporters and like the guys in the chat. Dude, they love it. They're enjoying this. Like that's what it is. So if they can go from one personality, for lack of a better term, to the next, and like it's better. Fantastic. We all work together and don't get all fucking petty with each other. It's better.
Yeah, I agree.
I have no interest in taking what you guys. I don't want to do that. That sucks. You guys are trying to do something here. Plus, I like both of you guys.
Yeah. We're having fun, whether there's 2 people in the chat or 52 or 6,002 like Ryan gets.
Right. 6,002.
Just
Yeah,
wait.
he gets like 1,000 now. 600,000.
It's crazy.
I
Just
don't know who those people are.
wait until the Jets panel for the draft. I mean, the draft party.
Oh yeah, it's going to be great.
It's going to be. You think 3,000 is possible?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think we might have gotten up there last year. I just can't remember. I mean, we were over 1,000 for most of the time.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Are you
That
guys
was
going live again?
Yeah.
The same panel? All
Yep.
3 days?
Yeah, you guys can probably do some pop-ins if you want. I can probably, I'll ask. I mean, it's kind of, I mean, it's me, Matt, and Ryan, obviously, for most of the time. But I mean, dude, there's so much time. It's like 3 hours the first night, then it's 5 hours the next day, and then Sunday it's 5-6 hours. So yeah, if you guys want to pop in, I'll make sure. I don't want to say yes.
No, I get it.
Because it's not my show, but I would imagine it's fine.
I got in last year by luck. Remember?
No.
Well, he just gave out the link and said try to get in, and I was waiting, and he pulled me in. That was one of the first times I was on. Was during the draft. Like the second time I was ever on, like on YouTube. A YouTube stream was him. Like I think it was on. I think it may have been. I'm trying to the Saturday or the Friday, the second day.
Nice.
My first time on the stream was with when I actually won a contest on the Thursday thick of it through Bean when we it was a Monday night. It was a Monday night mock when we mocked the whole first round. You had like 6 of us on there. It was a fabulous time.
That was so killer, wasn't it? I can't even remember, Dom. I cannot even remember what that contest was, how I did it, nothing. I wanted to do it again. I can't remember what I did.
I don't remember what you did or how you picked it, but you did, and you took. It was you, me, Ryan, Matt, and then a couple other guys, and you handed us each 4 teams prior to, and you said, "Here, you're going to draft for this team." We did a whole first round mock. It was wonderful.
Yeah, that was such a good time.
It was.
I remember O'Leary afterwards was telling me, he's like, "Dude, that was really fun, man." Like, it's like it was great. That was when we noticed we saw the bright light that is Dom C.
Oh man, I don't know about bright.
Well, why don't you just fucking learn how to take compliments?
I'm working on that.
Yeah, but you know what, Dom? I spotted, I got it, brother. That's all that is. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I can recognize that because that's my problem. Yeah, I can't take compliments. I don't like them. I don't do well. I've been working on that one for 15 years. So, but yeah, it's the truth. Dom's good, isn't he, Jeremy?
He's very good. Hey, I saw him just from those Patreon, from that first Patreon, the first time he was going over position players, I thought to myself, this guy is gold. I was like, this is awesome. This is a show. He could be streaming right now.
I just say it, dude. I'm pretty much just a nerd. Like I said, whether or not I was doing it on Bean's Patreon or whether or not I was doing it here or whatnot, I'd still do it. I still watch it and I still read and I still,
right.
I just know it. It's just ingrained in me.
Yeah, it's what you're doing anyway in your spare time.
Right. That's right.
That's the funniest part about it. That's what's so great about this. Like if we were if we were younger and realized, like when we were younger, like we didn't have YouTube, we didn't have all this shit, but like that there could be a thing made out of this, like what we like to do, we would all be, we'd all be doing this already. It's like, but here we are, we're a little older, and it's like, wait a minute, I spend all these hours online looking at players and reading shit and comparing, draft notes and all this stuff. And it's like, I'm doing that for fun.
Yeah.
So now when I do it, I come here and I go, hey, and now it's a thing, right? It's like,
I can't tell you how many times my wife asked me, like in years when we first started dating, you're sitting home watching the fucking combine? Yeah, that's I'm watching the combine. That's what I'm doing.
I love it. I love the combine. Yeah, it's a funny thing, man. And now, what's so cool about it is that there has a community has developed around it where people genuinely want to understand. Like everybody, like we would watch football and, what we call now casual fans, but like diehard fans 15 years ago, all they could do is read the paper, and go to the games.
Yeah.
That's all we had.
Pick up and see what Steve Serby said in the Post.
Exactly. And always being aggravated that all these pieces of shit never said anything positive about the Jets. And it's been going on a long time, man, but it's now because of all this information, like helping people to organize their thoughts, like, hey, if we go here and look at this and people genuinely, like, there's a craving for it. Like, let's all, like, when you can't possibly in your spare time look at the thousands of players that are that are coming out of school. So
it's impossible.
Like we all look at different players and we go, hey, did you look at this guy? And listen, oh yeah. And it becomes a really fun thing. And then the draft itself is like, it's mayhem. You know what I mean? There's so much going on, and it's so fun to be able to see how accurate you were, like, I don't know. I find such fun in that, like, predicting and, I get a lot of stuff right, man, every year, you know what I mean? And I have for a long time. Now I get a lot wrong, obviously, but I'm really I like the idea of like really trying to figure out with all the variables, they're going to take this guy. And they do. Like, I knew it. You know what I mean?
So
it's fun.
To that question, to that point, then, Bean, let's ask. Let me put you on the spot here, and for whoever else is listening, tell us in your pull out your crystal ball. What's the position that's going to be addressed that we don't see right now on paper? Because everyone's talking, especially the past week, everyone's talking wide receiver. We got to go 10, this, that, blah, blah, blah. What's the one area that you think is going to come up that no one is really talking about as much as they should?
Well, that's interesting because I'm still in the process. Like, I didn't put out like my official mock yet. Like, you know what I mean? I'm still compiling, but let me just tell you that all the people out there that think the Jets see their team in the same way that they do are going to be very, very surprised. For example, I think Kyle Hamilton is not only in play up top, I think that there's only a few scenarios that could take him off of the Jets, the Jets picking him at 4. I think there's only a couple scenarios that would make it so Kyle Hamilton is not our pick. Now, most Jets fans think that that's an impossibility because they have it in their head that safety isn't important, and then on and on and on.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that Kyle Hamilton is likely the pick if a couple guys aren't there at 4, and if they take their edge, which I think is the pick, right? That's the pick. If you take edge at 4 and Kyle Hamilton's there at 10, everybody's going to be yelling Sauce, who will still be there. They're going to say Sauce, at least I think right now. They're going to be saying Sauce or Garrett Wilson, and the Jets are going to fucking send in the card with Kyle Hamilton's name on it. I don't think Jets fans realize how real that is.
See, I don't think you're gonna catch. There's gonna be a lot of uproar if Kyle Hamilton's the pick at 10. I understand and I agree with you what you're saying in four that there's a scenario where he's still in play at 4. I think that in the Twitter sphere of Jets universe, that's going to cause panties to be up in a bunch. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean, dude,
Jeremy and I were talking about that before. Somebody had mentioned the guards, Aquanu or Neal or the offensive lineman, and I said, listen, there's a situation I'm sure where just say the Jets have 3 edges that grade out at way up top here, and if there's a scenario that those 3 edges are off the board, Hutchinson, Walker, and Thibodeau, and if they went,
right.
If they still went Ike Aquanu, I said I could understand if that's their mentality. If they were going edge and then the next best player, if the top 3 edges are off the board and they go their next best player, it could be Aquanu, it could be Hamilton. There could be different, a bunch of different scenarios, but
yeah. What's funny about that is like the smartest thing to do for a team, right? Like, so we have the 4th pick. So everyone is available to us except for 3 people. We don't know who those 3 people are, but everyone else is available to us. Every single college prospect is going to be there at 4 except for the 3 people that aren't. So that's a lot of people. Now, the best way to look at that is that they have their players identified, who the best players are in this draft and who would be the best fits. Now, that's obviously includes athleticism, work ethic, personality traits, all those things. They collect it all and they say, these are the 3 guys that are worthy of a top 5 pick for us. Now, let's say all 3 of them are gone. The best thing to do in that scenario is to not feel pressure to reach, to take the next guy. Yeah. Like that. And now if that happens to be, let's say you have 2 edges in that group and Kyle Hamilton. That's the only 3 players you feel are worthy of a top 4 pick. That's the way it goes. It's 3, those 3 players are gone. You look and there's a position that is not a need for you, but it's clearly the best player. Like, he's ahead of all the rest of the people. Bypassing him for a need is where teams make the biggest mistake. Yeah. Now, if you're stocked at that position, like let's say we're not stocked at very much, so we're okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, let's say it's, we have, one of the best wide receiver cores in the NFL.
Cincinnati Bengals. They have 3 solid wide receivers.
There you go. That's a great example. And the best player on the board is a wide receiver. So are they going to use a top 5 pick on a wide receiver and logjam, and they have all young guys too. Like they're not even, they're going to be there for 3-4 years. Now you could, and wide receiver is interesting because obviously there are so many packages you can do. It's not the best position group to use, but you don't want to logjam your, you want to spread it around and have top tier talent at different positions around your team. But at the same time, drafting for need is it's where teams make the biggest mistakes, man. That's the one. Reaching for need.
So is offensive tackle at 4? Is that draft? Is that in? Would you say that's in play? Do you think that's do you think that's log jammed right now?
Well, I think that's a log jam, but then again, I don't know what they really feel about Becton. You know what I mean? Like they may look at Becton as a 50-50. Now, if he's a 50-50 and you have a George Fant contract situation going on, like you've been talking to his agent and, you don't think that it's going to be able to get done, then you, all right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It would be very telling If we took a tackle, to me, it would be very telling.
That's how I see it as well. I think now, before we signed Lake and Tomlinson, I could subscribe to the idea that was going around that you're going to draft Icky at 4 and he's going to be the heir apparent to Fant or Becton. You know, general, let's just say Fant, because we're going to let his contract expire and we'll put him and we'll play him at the right guard position for a year. I could subscribe to that. I can get into that. Okay, that makes sense. You're crushing your biggest need on the offense, which is that right guard spot. In my opinion, that is the most glaring hole we have on offense. So if you're going to plug that, and at the same time you have the guy grooming to be your right tackle for the next 5-10 years, that's smart. I can see that. That's why I was never like oppositional to that. Now, would I do it? Again, I don't know how they like Becht and all, but the way I see it is that that's the only position on the team that we have 2 high quality starters. So why would we use it? Again, the only scenario that I would consider is what I just said, but that's the information that we don't have. That's where we out here start to piece things together. Like, you know, in Jurassic Park, when they had the little piece of the genome missing and they took a frog and stuck it in there, you know, and look what happened. It jammed up everything, gunked up the works. They all started ruining the place because of that frog DNA. That's the thing. Like, we think we know what's up. We go, well, here, I'm going to tell you what's happening. It's because of this and this and this. I can see it. 2 + 2 is 4. And then you realize later, you're like, no, well, that was completely wrong, because what you thought fit here actually didn't. And we start making shit up. And the more stuff we make up, the further we are from nailing the right answer. But I think tackle, just on the surface, tackle would be a poor decision with a top 5 pick.
Yeah, I just want to point out, Green Bean, if you read Eminon's message here, what was his favorite Green Bean show?
What's that?
After Hours Fest.
What was Eminon's favorite? Like, read his message. What was his favorite Green Bean show?
I don't see his message.
You don't see the message up here? You're not looking at
the Icky Talk. Oh, up there. I'm sorry. I was scanning the chat. Yeah. After Hours Fest and Thursday Night Thick of It, and my personal favorite football, Jets Worldwide. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You like that one, Eminon? That's good. You know what's funny? 2 days ago, I was actually scanning that playlist. I was looking at it and I was like, oh, yeah, Phil Adams was on there. And, I was just doing that. That's funny that you should mention that. I was just doing that. It might even been yesterday that I was doing that.
I just love that he said it, because that's the show that I was on with you. So,
yeah.
I wonder if Eminon is here every week for me and everything. He probably saw me on that show.
That's probably what. See, that was the gateway to Jeremy Cravat.
Yeah.
See how that goes? Right, man. And that's the cool thing about exposure.
Yeah.
You never know. You just go do it. Like, I have guys ask me, hey, I'd like to interview for my show. And I'm like, yeah. I never know who's watching that show. It's like, yeah, sure. Plus, I like to help guys out. Anything, if I can help a smaller YouTube channel is trying to get started and they look at me as like, oh, if I can, yeah, dude, I'm just, just a fucking guy sitting here talking Jets. So if that'll help you, sure. But then again, on the other end, it's like, I don't know who's watching that show. Sure. You never know.
Yep. What's this?
What else we got?
I'm just highlighting some of the chats. He's saying, what is he saying? Jeremy is
J. Cole.
my father. It's just nuts.
Well, go back to that last comment. What was that? Oh, wait. I'm watching
this one right here.
Hold on. I wasn't on. Yeah. Scott Cleese. If you can trade Becton, you do it. If you have the chance to get another first round, either this year or next year, because one of the top 2 tackles will be there at 4. Well, what if they look at these tackles and say they're nowhere near as good as Becton? Then why would you do that?
See, here's what I have to say about this comment. I don't, and this is the struggle I have. I don't see take the injury. I mean, I'm assuming it's like you don't know if he could stay on the field, this, that, and the other thing. But like trading someone who you just spent high capital on 2 years ago to replace them with another guy at the same position who you don't even know is going to be as good as that guy you just spent high capital on 2 years ago. That's where it doesn't make. That's where the connection is off for me. If you said, listen, you could trade, Mekhi Becton because his value is sky high right now. It's never going to be any better. And you have his backup already, and you're going to be able to get A, B, and C and fill those holes. That's going to take you from, borderline playoffs to Super Bowl contender. Okay. But this scenario, and Scott, this is not a knock at you because I hear it a lot. I see it a lot. It just doesn't, I don't see where the connection is. You're kind of robbing Peter to pay Paul the same exact thing.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I mean, that's the thing. Like you said, now if he has sky high value and somebody loves him and they're like, hey man,
Jamal
we'll give you a first and a second this year and you can up it, or 2 firsts, something crazy. Then there's a scenario that you could entertain. Another scenario is we picked Becton. It was a different coaching staff. This coaching staff came in and they don't like him. They don't like him. They don't like his style. They find it, the relationship's adversarial, something like that. And you can get even. Then that's another scenario that you can entertain. You can push reset and replace him because of the tackles draft. Creating that hole, like with just what Dom said, we have no idea what these players coming out of the draft are going to be. Now, draft, you pick them higher because you think that they're more likely to make it, to be impact players and whatnot. But the truth is, you don't know. So Becton, we already know he played 14 games his rookie year for us. He started 14 games for us, and he dominated. Now, he was still a rookie. He had his mistakes learning. He had his mistakes. But by and large, he was a dominant left tackle, mauling people. Mm-hmm. Again, I love to bring up the Nick Bosa thing. Nick Bosa, by everybody's account, going into the game, was supposed to give Mekhi Becton his first education into the NFL. And he shut him down entirely. He did nothing. And they even moved Bosa to the other side, and they ended up getting hurt in that game. They lost them for the year. Bosa, that is. But that's what we already know. Mekhi Becton has played 14 NFL games and was a stalwart at the left tackle spot. So we think Icky's going to be good. We think Evan Neal's good. They might come into the NFL and freeze under the lights, bro. We don't know. So just creating it for the sake of creating it, I wouldn't do that. If the value's super high, you do that. If there's a reason why you don't out of it, then that's another scenario. Other than that, I just see it as rearranging the chairs on the Titanic. I mean, it's just spinning wheels for zero reason. There's forward thinking and there's, stagnant thinking. Mm-hmm. And, it's funny. A guy, I don't want to tell you that story, but still water, like rivers and everything like that. Like waters that move is considered fresh water. Water that stays in one spot is considered a swamp. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you have to have flowing. And that's the thing. Like, think forward. We have a left tackle. He was dominant his rookie year. He got rolled on last year, and the injury took longer to heal. That's it. That's all we have. Jets fans, because of Rich Cimini and a few other writers, just made up crazy shit about him. He's going to eat himself to death. I mean, you look, dude, he puts out a wedding tweet and he gets attacked. Like, I don't know what it is I don't know what it's. Stop buying into the beat and their bullshit stories, man. They literally make things up. That's what they do. So anyway, I wouldn't do that. Cleese pie.
Hello? Yeah, I thought that was a funny. Matthew Smith says that when he found me, You were in the chat, so he subscribed right away.
Well, there you go, Matt. That's good.
Whatever
Right on.
it takes. Whatever it takes.
Yeah, so basically, Eminon's agreeing. If he doesn't get rolled on, nobody's talking about this. He would have, he would have been fine. Everyone's forgetting about the level of play his rookie year. That's what's, his rookie year, he wasn't any more banged up as far as missing games than Michael Carter was this year, or Elijah Moore was. So if Elijah Moore or Michael Carter get rolled up on and mess up their knee, are people going to say they're busts and we should get rid of them?
Yeah.
They're doing it with Mims, right?
They're doing it with Mims. Yeah. Mims didn't even have a bad first half of the season. When they put him in the games, he contributed. He produced. Mm-hmm. And it was the second half of the season. That's it. And they are done with him. It's the fucking craziest thing. It's the craziest thing. You know what's really fascinating to me? Carl Lawson has had 2 season-ending knee injuries and an Achilles injury, and is 28. I think he is
27. I believe.
27. Why aren't we Jets fans? Almost almost across the board, are confident that he's going to come back and dominate. Yet Becton, who's 22, had 1 injury, and it's like he's got to go. I don't understand it. And then the funniest part about it is a lot of them want to draft Evan Neal to replace him, who's 6 pounds less. Now, he lost a bunch of weight for the combine, but we don't know what the hell that is. How do you lose 35 pounds? And I mean, isn't that could be the, reason he's good for all we know? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a major swing. But the point is, like, we're creating something. There are so many holes to focus on. Becton was a stud monster his rookie year.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I talked about this before. I tend to err on the side of the optimistic fan, and I love Becton, I love Mims. I'm not ready to quit on Mims, Do I think, he's got to prove himself? He absolutely has to prove himself, especially the staff. And I really, really appreciated what you said, being, when you talked about those scenarios with Becton, maybe it's this staff just doesn't like him, and if you could get something for him because they don't think he's going to be a fit, then that's fine. But I hang my hat on the side that, like, they wear green right now, and I'm going to back them and I'm going to support them. And I'm always going to be the optimist to say, I'm expecting better. I always expect better, and I'm comfortable until the bottom falls out. A la Adam Gase. I was singing Adam Gase's name through the fucking mountains, Peyton Manning's mentor is coming to the Jets. We're saved.
Oh, you were?
We're saved. I didn't look at what happened in Miami. Like I said, we're saved, and I was proven wrong. Could I be proven wrong in my optimism with Mekhi Becton and Denzel Mims? Maybe. Time's going to tell. I don't think, him getting rolled up is the telltale factor. I don't think Mims getting really sick and kind of slow to get by. I don't think that's a telltale factor. Again, Denzel Mims only been in the league 2 years.
Yeah.
Why?
I know, it's so funny, Dom. Like, I'm looking at the comments now. There's fuck Mims and stuff. A huge draft bust.
Yeah.
Huge draft bust. He's not even, dude, he's 23 years old. Like, he had a solid rookie season. And last year, again, they put him in for 3 plays. His first game, he had a 40-yard reception. 2 games later, they put him in for 5 plays. He had 3 receptions for 36 yards. He was blocking key blocks on running plays. The first game that he had a bad game was the one where Josh Johnson threw him the touchdown pass and he dropped it. He dropped the Josh Johnson touchdown pass. Then the next game, he dropped 2 Josh Johnson passes. And then from then, he kind of, it was like weird. He had like a degrading over the next few games. They'd put him in for 2 plays. You'd get a penalty. They'd pull him out. So we don't know what the story is, but I've watched every single snap of Denzel Mims' college career, and then obviously every snap of his rookie year. The guy's a very, very good wide receiver. Very good. And
Yeah.
the fact that, 8 games, let's say, that he had, the fact that people are responding so negatively, like, again, I can't tell you he's going to be great. I have no idea. But the fact that we're giving up on a 23-year-old kid, calling him a bust after 8 bad games is absolutely ridiculous to me. I
think
don't
there's
understand it.
Yeah, I think there's 2 sides with Mims. You're either really far left on it or really far right on it, right? You either hate him and you're done with him, or you take the side that, just like you kind of said, and what I'm thinking about. The fact that it's still too young. He's been in the league 2 years, right? I'm looking. Somebody just posted that in the chat. 2 years and nothing to show. Get rid of him. 2 years, 2 completely separate, different offenses on shitty teams. With how many quarterbacks? How many quarterbacks have been
5.
under center for those
He's
2
played.
years?
He's played with 5 different quarterbacks since he's been with the Jets.
Coming from a college, now this is not a knock on he was very good in college, but they ran a very, very limited type of offense. He did like 3 things. So he's still learning. He's young. I don't know how we give up on that. Christian Hackenberg, that's a draft bust.
Right.
You can't say
That's a
Denzel
draft
is a draft bust. Yes. Yeah.
Or like Vernon Golston. He was our starter. They put him in for years and he never got to the quarterback. That is a draft bust.
0 sacks.
0 sacks in 4 years. You know what I mean? And he played. Like, and that's such a great point. I mean, up until the Josh Johnson game, he had never dropped a Sam Darnold, Joe Flacco, or Zach Wilson pass, Denzel Mims. Up until that Josh Johnson game. Like, this is what we're talking about.
It cost us nothing. He comes into camp. I
Right, he's here.
I like the way it was already said. I like Braden's example. You bring him in like he's an extra draft pick. Like, he starts over. He's going to come in and try to win a roster spot. It's like there's nothing to lose with him. It's like we're going to bring him in. He's going to fight to win a spot. And hopefully he had all off season to work on things. I heard he was with Zach already working out with the other guys.
They're already working out.
Maybe he comes into camp a different guy. Maybe he comes in. He's not sick this time. He's back to his normal self, makes great catches, does everything right, gets a roster spot, and gets an opportunity.
Yeah,
Right.
Listen, in no way, shape, or form am I saying that I think Denzel Mims is going to be a Hall of Fame wide receiver when it's all said and done. He might fizzle out. That's the case. I just think the what we've seen, you can't make judgment on it yet.
Right. Let me tell you, by the people's standards that are attacking Becton and Mims, Troy Polamalu would be considered a bust right now, or at least, at minimum, a jag. He couldn't break off special teams his rookie year. Couldn't do it for the Steelers. We know what Troy Polamalu is.
Yeah.
It took him a year. So it's a funny thing when you look at the terrible situation that has been here. Like, Scott Cleespie's in there. I don't know why you're so upset, Scott. There's no reason to get all angry.
Yeah. Nobody has been here sitting here saying how good the team is. We have not been saying that.
Yeah, who said that? It's quite the opposite.
We said that we're good at offensive line, and that's it. Like, we're literally admitted that we pretty much need help in every position except offensive line.
But here's the difference. And why I have hope now. Unlike our good friend Dom C, I absolutely despised the Adam Gase hiring. Despised it. Now, I rooted for him, of course. And that 6-2 end of the season and everything in 2019 was, hey, that was fun. We won some games. It was hopeful. You know what I mean? I was like, okay, maybe they can build off that. That would be great. I tried to be positive, but I hated the signing. I would watch the drafts every year, just like we do now. I would watch who we sign in free agency, the contracts. And I remember most of the draft picks since Tannenbaum, even before Tannenbaum with Terry Bradway. I would watch them trade 2 firsts to move up to take a defensive tackle that I just didn't like. He was the worst. Like, I never jived with what they were doing the whole time. I was like, dude, I don't get it. I don't see what they're doing. I could tell while it was happening, this is more than likely going to fail. And we had to endure it and watch the games. I still rooted. Of course, I go to games. I do all the things. But I knew it sucked the whole time. This is the first time since 2010, maybe 2011, I still had hope. After that, I had very little hope. Again, still rooted, still did all the fan things, but it's very different right now. And that's why it's encouraging. Now, as far as Denzel Mims or Mekhi Becton or any of these guys, we have no idea. But again, just like Dom said, the story's not written. Now, you've taken a side. Fine. That's fine. I don't understand that side because I look at things logically. I'm not getting upset about Denzel Mims. As soon as somebody gets upset, I already know they're not thinking logically because emotions don't have logic. There's two parts. I already know this. I'm a therapist. Like I can tell who I'm talking to. When somebody's yelling and screaming, and I already know I can't have a logical debate with you. There's no discussion. Facts don't mean anything anymore. So if you're getting upset, I can already tell you you're not thinking. That's fucking point blank. So if you're upset about this issue, then there's a reason why you're upset because you're not thinking. You're not using facts. You're using your emotions. That's not to say you're wrong. I'm just telling you, we can't have a logical discussion because you're emotional. Like Glee's pie.
It's a very real thing. It's like when you're breathing and you're calm, you're using the frontal logical lobe of your brain. When you are emotional, when you're node, when you are emotional and you're not breathing and you don't have oxygen in your brain, you're using the middle part of your brain, or the even worse, the back part of your brain, and that is not the part of your brain that should be discussing and having a conversation and a discussion like this. You need to stay calm.
Right.
The good thing is I don't have many brain cells left back there. So
yeah, right.
You know, when Green Bean was using the back of his brain when he was in Cleveland and about the entire stadium was jumping him.
Yeah, that's it. I was also using my hands and feet, stepping on people's heads.
So Jeremy, what do you about you? I mean, this is a long show, but while it's not,
I gotta go in a minute.
Yeah, me too. But what do you think? What do you think about the idea of tackle at 4 or a Hamilton at 4 or something unconventional at 4?
Well, obviously, I am not for taking an offensive lineman like our tackle. I don't want it. The second we signed Lincoln Tomlinson, that was off the table for me as making any sense whatsoever, unless they know something. Like maybe they know something about his knee. Maybe they know something about Becton. He's not our guy. He's never going to be our guy. Unless they know something I don't know, then I'm against it. Because as far as I'm concerned, Becton's a guy who had a teammate roll on his knee, and that's it. And he's a guy that's going to be probably a Pro Bowl offensive lineman, one of the top in the league. So, I'm not for it. Hamilton, I could live with. Like, I won't be angry because there's a part of me that thinks we're going to be Jet fans, especially the ones that are sitting there saying you can't take a safety, are going to be very, very regretful and feel really silly because I don't know if people really remember or experienced what it was like. I grew up in the 80s to watch Ronnie Lott play and the impact he had for the Niners. I have friends. I watched a lot of Pittsburgh Steelers. My brother went to Carnegie Mellon to watch Troy play. Ed Reed. I mean, I've watched these guys. I love football. I've watched a lot of games, and there's a good chance that Hamilton is going to be at that level based on what I'm seeing. And for people to say, "Oh, it's too high for the position," if he ends up playing like those guys or joining that group of names, it's not too high for the position.
Yeah,
right. I know. It's just, it's weird too. Like, obviously the NFL game changes and different positions, become premium. And, not too long ago, running backs were the darling of the league. You needed your big running back, and taking them in the first round was not an issue. Now, not so much. Now they're looked at as a dime a dozen, and safety has also kind of slid in importance to a lot of people. Now, I think Jets fans are particularly sensitive because we have used 2 first-round picks in recent memory, and they were just such bad picks, and they didn't do much for us. But the truth is that if you have a dynamic safety, if that's all you have, you're in trouble. But if you have a dynamic safety roaming around the back end of your back, defense, dude, it can be incredibly impactful.
Can't argue that.
Yeah, I mean, look, in any position, an impact player is an impact player. Look at, what's his name? Henry for Tennessee, the running back, right? I mean, when you're elite, you're elite. In any position, you could change the game. You can make an impact for your team.
Right.
So yeah, there's very little that would upset me. I mean, obviously, if they took Jordan Davis with the 4th pick, I'd be furious. But
They'll go crazy. They're talking about him at 10, not at 4.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like obviously there are things that would piss me off, but Hamilton is not one of them. He's not one of the picks that would infuriate me.
Gotcha. Good.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, it's going to be fun this next, when it's April 28th is the draft, right?
Yes, sir.
So we got 5 weeks, 5 weeks to debate and dig and argue about it. And then the Jets are going to do what they did to us last year, and they're going to pick
Jason Pinnock out of Pittsburgh.
That's
right.
And Damian Sherwood, and everyone's like, why are we taking all these guys?
Right. Yep, there were all the players that we loved in our mocks were sitting there, and they didn't take any of them.
I'll never forget on last year's stream Matt O'Leary's face when they picked Damian Sherwood. It was just like, who? It was because realistically, he wasn't a name that you heard about. I mean, I remember Damian Sherwood, the safety, but we're taking another safety. No one realized that. Again, they're playing chess. We're playing checkers.
It was amazing when they were doing that. It was amazing.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, but I like that though. It's like, and look how it worked out. Like that defensive backfield, those 5th and 6th round picks was, they were one of the shining spots of the season.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Michael Carter II.
Yep.
You couldn't ask for anything better. Right.
Nope,
I guarantee you that you two, or all 3 of us and everyone else in this chat, didn't do 1 ounce of research on Michael Carter II, the slot corner from Duke.
No, that's in. I did. I actually did a little, but he was on the back end. You know what I mean? It was very little. I knew about him and everything. But when they picked him, Dom, I was convinced that something was wrong. I mean, I thought they were like playing something from earlier or something was wrong, like because we had already picked Michael Carter, and I was like, what is this bullshit? Show us the pick. Like I couldn't even understand like what was happening. It was so confusing then. But I'll tell you what, I didn't do anything on Pinnock, Sherwood, or Jonathan Marshall. Nothing.
Yeah,
I had Thompson.
That was the name I knew because you watched the clips. I actually remember seeing that thing when you see when he like flopped on the field and played dead and kind of like hamming it up a little bit on a PI play. They show clips of it on ESPN, so I remember him doing that. But yeah, some of these guys that I say it all the time. We can do 1,000. We can do 10,000 of these mock draft simulators, and the Jets are going to take guys that we never even thought about.
Yeah. Well, if we do this long enough and keep doing these mocks, it might not be the guys we pick, but we're going to know all the names.
And there's progress because Jeremy did not even bring up to draft Christian Watson today. That's
interesting. That is progress. Well, you know what's funny, Jeremy? There were, I think Jason Pinnock. It might be Pinnock and Sherwood weren't even in the mocks. They weren't even in the simulators.
That's crazy. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I was like, when they picked Pinnock, I couldn't believe it because the only thing they had on him was like burned 6 times in college. I was like, what?
Yeah, that was ugly.
That was ugly.
He was the pick I liked least on the back end.
Yeah. But you know what? He might end up being a safety for us. It's a small sample, but he He played really well in that Tampa game at safety.
And listen,
Yeah.
it's another position now. There's a lot of teams that run that big nickel and have 3 safeties on the field or rotate them in more often. You used to have 2 guys out there. A strong safety, a true strong safety, true free safety. Have one other rotate. Backup third safety on the roster. And never thought about it. 5 safeties now. It's not a crazy idea. Not a crazy scenario, I should say.
Right. And that's the whole thing. It's going to be real funny when we're running 3 tight ends out there and 4 safeties and shit. You know what I mean? Changing the NFL. Like, why not be on the cutting edge, man?
I'm curious. I never looked into it. I wonder if somebody knows out there in the chat, or maybe one of you guys, how much nickel did we run? Like, what were the percentages of base defense to nickel and 5 D backs in there? I bet you it was more than not.
Yeah, I mean, Frankie has those stats. Those stats are out there. I just, I don't personally know it, but it's out there for sure. But that'd be interesting, right? It's like, I'd like to see. I'm just really curious to see how, because look, last year they obviously had a draft and they picked they picked their players and they used a lot of them, but they weren't able to do everything that they're going to do. Last year was all about base. It was just about getting these young guys and these new guys to learn their system, who's going to be able to stick and who's not.
Yep.
And, that's all it was. Of course, they're trying to win games, but we're all freaking out and shit on this end. But it's like, dude, they're at step 1. They're at step 1. So bringing in another batch of players like that they want and being able to add these wrinkles to their system and everything, it's going to be exciting. I'm real curious to see what our goal is,
Yeah. Good night, Larry. Thanks for coming. Make sure you sub on the way out, buddy, if you haven't.
Yeah, I'm gonna bounce too, buddies. I gotta go.
Yeah, we're good. We're gonna come to an end. Thanks for everybody. You want to tell anybody anything, Green Bean, before you go?
Oh, just tomorrow morning will be episode 63 of Green Beans Jets Pod. It's released every Monday. Last week we did the first live edition from Sedona, Arizona. And I'll be releasing it early in the morning. And it talks all about what is, number one, how crazy we're being over the wide receiver position 1 week into free agency, but all of the solutions that are still available to us at the wide receiver position so we can calm down. It's going to be fun.
And Dom, anything you want to say?
Yeah. So, guys, if you aren't following me on Twitter, I'd appreciate it. DC_New York Jets. I'm on there a lot. I frequent a lot. Please read my articles on greenbeanjetsfan.com. We have the new batch coming out this week on the linebackers. And next Thursday, I will be talking draft prospects with Buffalo Jets fan on his show Thursday night at 8 p.m. He asked me to come on and talk about some prospects. So,
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it should be pretty cool.
Yeah, right on.
There you go. And I'll be back. I may pop in. I could be anywhere, but Wednesday night, Wacky Wednesday with Jeremy and Adam. We'll be there 9 p.m. on is it 9 p.m.? Yeah. No. I'm sorry. It's 9:45.
10 p.m.
Yeah. I don't even know when my own show is. It's 10 p.m. Eastern. 10 p.m. Eastern, Wednesday night, the Wacky Wednesday show with Jeremy and Adam. We'll be back on that night. I'm probably going to take a couple of days off, so I won't see anybody because I need to rest. And I'll be doing more watching Green Bean and that kind of fun stuff. So thank you, everybody in the chat that was here today's stream. Thank you, Green Bean. Thank you, Dom. Thank you, everyone. It was a great time tonight.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Good night, everybody.
Oh, yeah. Go. Amazing. That's my boy. He
breaks away from a sack and completes the pass for first down.
Kittle just may have made the most amazing catch.
He fights for the first down and gets out of bounds, too.
It's no good. Overtime. Oh, what a catch. How do you drop that? What are you, Jamal Adams? Touchdown.
This is a touchdown all the way.
He San Francisco beat Cincinnati.